What the fuck are you talking about? Anyway, Hanaki, did you know that our souls are connected by fate? Well, what do you know? I am Yuno Hanaki, the one and only Oiran from Mialun. Hi. Onion, garlic, orange juice, mix together, stir in an iron pan, add salt to flavor. To flavor? What the fuck are you guys talking about? Why are you trying to feed me poison? Isn't the point to make me not sick? I don't understand you people. You're crazy, I fear. Literally, who starts a conversation like that? I just sat down energy. What the hell is going on? I wasn't reading pre-chat. Someone told me to shove a green onion up my ass. Why are we starting stream like that, huh? That's crazy talk. Anyway, hi. Ignoring that, we're gonna pretend that that whole pre-chat conversation didn't happen. Anyways. Yeah, I don't care what your excuse is. I think you were just looking for an opportunity to tell me to shove something up my ass. Anyway, like I said, we're dropping the topic now. How are you guys doing? Happy Monday. Happy OniMon. Hope everything's good. Oh, hi, Kohaku. I'm glad you chose to raid now rather than earlier, because earlier was a little bit crazy. Hi. Hope your stream went good. Did you manage to become the Elden Lord? I hope so. I don't know anything about Elden Ring. I assume that's what you were doing. Hope it went good. Hi guys, welcome in. Welcome in. Thank you for coming. Crazy? Yeah, crazy. I was crazy once. They locked me in a room. Happy laborious OniMon. That's true. In some places of the world, this is Labor Day. So that means we are celebrating workers who are working hard and doing their best. Yes, 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 yes. We missed something? Don't worry about it. Anyway, hi. Welcome in. I have a donut. This is my treat. I took my medicine before this stream. That's why I was a little bit late starting. I took some medicine. I'm trying to knock this cold out of me. Well, it's not really a cold. It's just sniffles that have been rather persistent. I feel like it's on its way out, though, so I think the early dosage of medicine has been good. Is it maple glaze? No, it's pumpkin. I couldn't get maple, but I could get pumpkin, so... Pumpkin it is. It is fall. It is September 1st, so... I will take it. This is still a win, in my opinion. Little bit of sugar helps the medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. Yeah. Very true. But yeah, I got donut. I had one with my breakfast this morning, but I'm having another one as my post dinner and medicini treat. But yeah, welcome in, guys. Hope you've been having a okay Monday. This stream is probably going to be a little bit on the shorter side because I have a morning stream. I didn't intend for it to be at 8 a.m., but I realized belatedly after I had posted the schedule that I forgot to change the Tuesday slot to a different time. So that's on me, and now I'm gonna commit. I have to commit to what I said on the schedule, so yeah. Thumbs up. Is that the only thing you've eaten today? No, of course not. I had, when I went to get the donut, I got also a breakfast sandwich and some little hash browns. And I got a coffee. So I've had food to eat today. Yippee question mark. Yippee question mark. Yippee. But yeah, I ventured outdoors and I got treats. I got breakfast treats. I got food. So I have been consuming food. And then I had a good dinner. I made mac and cheese. So that's what I had for dinner, and now I've got my other pumpkin donut as my treat. Yay! Yippee! Yeah, see, it's fun. You see we have raiders? Yeah, we had some raiders from Kohaku's side. Hope you guys had fun over there. Remember Mac and cheese, sick food of champions. It was very delicious. I do love me some mac and cheese. I eat that even when I'm not sick, though. But it was good. I felt very full from breakfast still, because I had been nursing the coffee for, like, most of the day. So I was still, like, quite full. I didn't really feel hungry for much else, so I just made a dish of macaroni and cheese. It was good. It satisfied the urge for dinner. It was simple. And then I have donut as my treat. I haven't started picking at the donut yet, though, because I'm yapping. But I do have donut, and then I got a little cup of milk. I'm sorry to people who don't like drinking straight milk, but I do. But I've got milk to go with my donut because I should not be having coffee at 8 p.m. Especially if I have to get up early tomorrow. So it is what it is. How are you feeling? I was also sick a few days ago. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. I'm honestly doing better too. It was worse Friday. Or no, not Friday, Saturday. Saturday was ass. Sunday, I was okay. I was on the up and up. And now today I'm kinda like I feel like it's mostly gone. My energy is still kinda like flatlining, but I think most of the actual illness is gone, so we love that for me. We love that for me. Let's go. Yeah. Drink the coffee in the morning stream becomes an evening stream. I am not staying up all night when I'm trying to fight off an illness. I'm crazy, but I'm not that level of crazy. Please don't wish that upon my person. Recovery is progressing. Yeah, I've been sniffling a lot less. Although the amount I have been sniffling and blowing my nose has led to me to develop a... I think I'm developing a pimple, like, on the spot that's, like, the bridge between my nostril and, like, the rest of my face. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, where the side of the nostril is? Like, right where that, like, crevice between my nose and the rest of my face. There's a pimple developing there and it hurts, and I'm having a really bad time because it hurts and is itchy. So I'm having a time. If you hear me complaining or whining a lot, it's because I'm unable to resist the urge to bother it. When I get sick, I get breakouts there. Yeah, it's a symptom of my ick. Please end me. But anyway, I'm gonna be fine. I'm not too worried about it. You know, Hanaki. That's me. Please feel better. I'm on the up and up, I think. The philtrum? Yeah, the philtrum. Yeah. There's a bump forming there. I'm really hoping that it goes away. I hate it. Can't stand it. Can't stand it. So I really hope that goes away. In terms of, like, other illness symptoms, pretty much everything else is gone. I don't have the icky tummy anymore. Thumbs up. I'm, like, still occasionally sniffling, though it's not too bad. I don't really have anything else bothering me currently, although I must say I am feeling very, flushed right now. I don't think it's an actual fever, but if I am experiencing a fever, then hopefully that means that this shit's on its way out. Far be it from me to complain if that's the case. Transition time between summer to fall is the worst for when it comes to colds. Even worse if the weather constantly shifts from one day to the next. Yeah, I'm bracing for impact. It hasn't been too bad in Onigashima. The weather seems like it's gonna be pretty consistent, at least for this week. But I am, like, keeping an eye on it to ensure that it doesn't, get me when I least expect it. I'm doing my best to keep an eye out. And I have been taking medicine, so hopefully it should be okay. Well, thank you guys for your concern. It's definitely not as bad, as it's been. But yeah, anyway, it is September, which means, it is White Girl Christmas, which, that's to celebrate fall. The fall girlies are gonna go crunk. It's me. That's part of why I have a pumpkin donut. So I hope you guys are hyped for fall. Are you excited for the weather to start cooling down? I am. I'm really excited to not have to run my AC and have to worry about an increased electric bill. Love that for me. Do you remember? I remember. Already celebrating Halloween? Let's go. I'm not really a big Halloween girly, but I appreciate the people who are so hyped for Halloween that they celebrate it really early. We got a huge heat wave where I am, and it's only increased my want for fall weather. Oh god, yeah, I think summer is trying to put up one last valiant fight before it starts cooling off in a lot of places. Excited for less bugs and mosquitoes, right? I am also excited for less bugs and mosquitoes. Mosquito death season, my beloved. I can finally go outside. She loves bats. It's freaking bats. I love Halloween. Already started freezing on my end. It's been high 70s, low 80s for the highs for the last 2 weeks or so. Freezing? You call that freezing? That still sounds hot to me. I can't talk too much about weather on my end, but it's cooling down, like, considerably here, which is nice. I haven't felt like an urge to leave my AC on. I'm 18. I'm a grandmother. If I reference Vines, I know I've got at least one person who knows who I'm talking about. Why was that kid so funny? I'm a fall winter person, gone with the heat, I welcome chills. Yeah. I understand. I'm a spring girly, because I love pastels. Between the two moderate seasons, spring is my preference. But I do understand the appeal of fall. I do think fall is, like, overall a really good season, so it's a very strong contender for second. It goes it goes spring, fall, summer, winter. I am not a winter girly, despite having a winter birthday. It's kind of gross. Compared to high 90s to low triple digits, I'd say it's a massive improvement. You know what? Fair. Fall pretty. True. Fall is nice when you don't have to worry about school. The people who still have to go to school. That's crazy. Not my audience. Well, I guess some of you. Those of you who are still in the age of the 20s where you still go to college. That's crazy talk. Early spring birthday? Nice. I kind of want a spring birthday if I could have chosen my birthday. But you can't choose these things in life. Because you get beans thrown at you for your birthday? Well, it's not just because of the bean throwing. I just also don't like the fact it's cold. Or teachers in chat, there could be one. That's true. Someone here could be a teacher. Scary. A teacher could be any one of us. They could be you. They could be me. They could be we. All of us are in teacher mode, I guess. That is technically a possibility. Sorry if you hear the rustling of a bag. I'm taking out my donut. Oh no, I took it out upside down. That's gotta be bad luck. No! Don't curse my week! It's over. They can even be Yuno. There was an era where I thought about becoming a teacher. This is true. And then I decided, no. I don't like the idea of standing in front of a class and teaching. It's not even like a stage fright thing. It's just, I don't want to teach. I don't feel like I'm very good at teaching. I don't think I have that kind of skill in me, despite the fact that I worked on my college campus as a tutor for most of my time there. I just don't think I'd be a very good teacher. Miss Hanaki? Oh god. I don't think I could handle that. I would be one of those teachers that would be okay with you using my first name. I don't think I could handle the Miss Hanaki. That makes me feel too old. Those who can't do teach, those who can't teach stream. Literally me. Hanaki-sensei, no. 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 I can't do it. I got a teaching license, but I chose not to teach because it sounds like a pain. I feel like teachers really struggle. I do love and support people who do go into teaching because it's a very rough career path, especially these days. But like, I don't think I could handle it. Bring your Puntable to school day, win. If anything, Puntable would be bringing you guys to school for show and tell. She would take all the Damadachi and try to put them in a jar and be like, these are the people that annoy me at home. Puntable, you brought the Damadachi to show and tell last week. Only senpai, no sensei? Correct. Yes, correct. I can handle being a senpai. I don't think I can handle being a sensei. I don't have sensei energy. Anyhow. Well, yeah, I hope you guys have been having an okay Monday and/or holiday. How about teaching adults? I don't know. I'd rather do it on a peer-to-peer basis than on a teacher-student basis. I just don't really understand the value of that power dynamic. Mm-hmm. Ruined by the fact I have jury duty tomorrow? Ew. Gross. Good luck, man. Ew. Puntable just sews the Damadachi into different objects every week. Technically, true. If it's no longer a jar, that means it's technically different. DD Pickles from the Nicktoon Rugrats is a teacher? Not really, at least not anymore. She became a stay-at-home mom, right? Oh, Hanaki, did you win? I think I have one last sudden death round of the illness, but I do think I have the home field advantage. Not up on my Rugrats lore, I can't remember. Well, I'm pretty sure she became a stay-at-home mom when she decided to have Tommy at the very least. If she did go into teaching... I don't know what grade she teaches. Easily got out of my only jury summons. They asked if anyone wanted to not be a juror and I couldn't raise my hand fast enough. That's awesome. Although I feel like it also sucks that you had to go all the way there just to immediately, like, be like, I don't want to be here, and then go all the way back home. But I guess it's worth it if it means you don't have to be in jury duty. Fair enough. Love that for you. This Oni can't drive. So if I went through all the effort of going to jury duty just to then bow out, I would be pissing off whoever I got to bring me there. Hopefully you get the first case. Last jury duty I had to be there at 9 AM, didn't get called to the court until 3. My goodness. I could not stand it if I had to stay there that entire time. I would just be like, okay, at this point, I'm leaving. Every time I'm called, they fill the jury before it's my turn, so I get sent home. I mean, if it works, it works. I forget you not being able to drive sometimes. It's because I don't really talk about any topics where it comes up, usually. But yeah, I don't drive. Oni does not have license. Once went in for an hour or two, just be told it was resolved out of court the night prior. Why am I here then? That's crazy. Isn't it wild how they can just do that? Just like force you to put all this time aside for this thing that you might not even be picked for, among other things. Crazy. No license? Huh. Yeah. No license. I've explained this a little bit before, but I get crazy anxiety the minute I'm behind the wheel of any sort of vehicle. There have been a couple of instances in my life that have caused a form of trauma. I won't go too into the details of it, but long story short, there's been instances of trauma related to cars and like controlling of vehicles that have made it so that I have like a literal like mortal fear of being behind the wheel. So I can't do it. That is why I do not have a license. I do not have a license. And it's just something I literally can't get over. My family has like passive aggressively tried to convince me to get my license over the years, but anytime I come remotely close to being in the driver's seat of a vehicle, it gets bad. It gets bad. And the worst part is, it's not even just cars. You put me in control of any vehicle and I flip out. This has happened with bumper cars at like an amusement park. This has happened with those like automatic vehicles when you're like riding like an antique car on like that one-way track where it mostly is just auto driving. I can't even hold down the gas pedal for one of those. I flip out. It's awful. Literally about to make a joke about bumper cars. Yeah, sorry. I have to raise you the counter of how bad this is. I literally can't do it. And even like more simple stuff like bicycles, I get really nervous having to ride a bike too. I think a bike would probably be the one thing I could fight through just because it's a little bit easier to control. But there's been a number of times where I've tried to learn how to ride a bike without training wheels and I would freak out as a kid. So I still haven't learned how to ride a bike. So yeah, your girl has trauma, probably never gonna get a license. It is what it is. And I remember this caused so many problems in like high school too. Like we had to do those like career simulator things where we had to like simulate our expenses or whatever. And I mentioned I would probably live in a place that was walkable so I wouldn't have to worry about like a car or like gas expenses. And they were just like, well, you should account for having a car. Having a car is so useful. And I was just like, well, I'm not, so. Well, I'm not and I won't. So I shan't. So Yuno as a playable character in Mario Kart will never happen. Maybe if the Yuno character is riding only bikes, you can't put Yuno in a cart. That said, games like Mario Kart I can handle. I think because they're so cartoony. Mario Kart is something that I can handle in terms of like driving vehicles. I think driving in games is okay sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. Usually fine. It's mostly like IRL being put in control of a vehicle that freaks me out. You know, in Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. No, I can play that too. I do like the more cartoony racing games. The more realistic though, especially if it goes first person, I think I'd die. So you are correct that there would be no Euro Truck Simulator for me. I'd die. I'm sorry. I'd die, I think. Third person it is. Yeah, that's why games like Sonic Racing and Mario Kart are okay. I loved Double Dash. That's the last Mario Kart game I played, though. I have a van. I can carry Yuno and all the Damadachis. I don't know if you can carry all of them, but you could carry a decent majority. GTA 6 Racing is on the table. Or tiny balls of fire pack us in. Oh god. That would also make it really warm in there, though. I'd get so sweaty. We'd get so sweaty. That's a lot of fire. I don't know about all that. And are rather compressible. That's also true, I guess. Fire and gas. Yeah, I think the fumes would probably make me lightheaded. You say we don't exhibit heat before? You can't burn me, but it would still be, like, warm atmospherically. It looked like Ghost Rider was driving. Some of you have to form together to make a giant body so that you can actually hold the steering wheel. Do not ride in the catalytic converter. It does in fact convert Damadachi to cleaning exhaust. Do we have a smell? Like a burning wick, maybe? I haven't really thought about it. Or, sorry, you probably want the meme answer, right? Yeah, of course you do. You guys are green. That means you're stinky. Why are you bringing up stinky diapers? Literally nobody said that. That's crazy. Wasn't even shooting for the meme answer. I was asking that in all seriousness. No, I know. I'm saying everybody else in chat wants the meme answers. We taste like copper? You can if you want. We're green, we're minty fresh. Ugh. Burning smell of mint, so you guys would smell kind of like a minty incense. Blech. I taste like joy and whimsy. Okay, but what flavor is that? I take Damadachi lore very seriously. Please, princess, I take our war very seriously. When I ask my questions, I expect a serious answer, okay, princess? Shouldn't we taste like wasabi horseradish? No? You don't have to taste like anything if you don't want to. Princess, please do not mess around with the war. This would imply someone is eating us? Well, it ain't me, that's for damn sure.
Let's guide you back to me.
I need every one of you I can get. Ryuto, thank you for being a member of Soulfire for 21 months. Holy moly. 21 moments with the OniMon. True. That's me. Copper, iodine, potassium, the darkest pits of edge. True. Daniel Smith, thank you for being a member for 20 months of the emotes tier. And KJ, thank you for being a member for 21 months at the emote tier. Well, technically, I think your memberships have been just accumulated between all tiers that you've been. So you haven't been the emote tier for 20 months, but you've been members for that long in general and are currently at emote tier. Sorry for any confusion. Who would win, 1000 Damadachi or an Industrial Shredder? Well, technically you guys could possess the Industrial Shredder, so I think you would win because you could just possess the enemy.
The Oni lights guide you back to me.
Oh god, they're flooding me. Help.
The Oni lights guide guide you back to
Egan,
me.
thank you for being a member for 19 months of the emote tier. And Pira, thank you for being a member for 21 months of Shadowfire. I guess it's flex time. Oh boy, 21 months with the Oni. Ah!
May the Oni lights guide you back to
Ethan,
me.
thank you for being a member for 21 months of the emote tier. Blah! Blah! What if one possesses the industrial shredder to shred the rest? Then that means that one's clearly the alpha. We have found the one who, is going to rule them all. I think technically as Flame, you can be shredded in theory, but I think you'd be able to put yourselves back together. However, that would be a show of dominance that means that that particular, Dominachi gets to be in charge. I guess I'll go to YouTube just to join the train if you want. No pressure. You can save your message if you want. No, you didn't. Okay, that's fair.
Guide you back to me.
KB, thank you for being a member for 20 months of the emote tier. We're very ethereal. Yeah, you are very ethereal. Corporeal? I love trains. Choo-choo. Does that mean you love me because I made train sounds? Both. Yeah. No, we're ethereal now. Shut the fuck up! Why is that so funny? Of course we're not corporeal. You're not corporate anymore, you know? Shut the fuck up. That's so stupid. That's a good one. It's pretty good. I didn't expect it. I also didn't expect two people to make the same joke in chat. That's crazy. That's crazy talk. Amazing joke. Very good. It hit me out of left field. I didn't expect that. Hive mind, blah, blah, blah. Something, something. Hive mind causes shared sense of humor. You didn't expect us to share a brain cell? How many times we got to teach you this lesson? No, I didn't expect the joke. I know that you guys share brain cells. Please. I literally invented you. Of course I know. Of course I remember. You don't gotta teach me nothing. I invented the lore. Do not cite the ancient text to me, witch. I was there when it was written. We have brain cells occasionally. You are occasionally allowed to have them. Tempted to tack some type of Dominachi badge on my next cosplay. Already dollying the Ida bag. You're gonna make an Ida bag? Please tag me when you make it. I'll cry. I'll literally cry. Wait, an Ida bag? That's the best thing ever. Cells as being generous, true. You have one that you share. You have to like fight over it. All of your little Dama hands keep trying to grab at it. It keeps slipping out of your hands like soap. They're not cringe. Ita is because they're painful to make because they cost so much money. It's not because they're painful because they're cringe. Don't ever fucking say that about Ita bags in front of me ever again. Don't say that ever again. Didn't buy enough Yuno merch to fill it, so it's more of a journey line Ita bag full of memories. But that's still cute. That's still so cute. Anyway, please tag. I want to be able to see it. Please tag. Wait, really? That's the reasoning? Yeah. You think I don't know my Ita bag lore? I've made one. I know all about them. You're really gonna police my language? You're funny. You're funny if you think that's gonna do anything. If anything, you're just gonna make me swear more. There's a Yuno corner. Well, you can show me the whole thing and also show me the Yuno corner. Ita bags are cool. I just like seeing them in general because I really like the passion that people put into making them. Even if they don't have a lot to work with, sometimes you can get like really creative with the stuff that you put inside the display. It's awesome. Design wife purple glow. Step 2, glow as electrical zapper. Step 3, wait for Dama, absorb brain cells one by one. Step 4, combine 1024 Dama cells into the kilo cell. Step 5, 2 thoughts. Do you think that'll work? It's certainly an idea. Yuno has a permit. It says Yuno can do what she wants, and I wrote it in crayon. Official document, by the way. Should store tax documents in an Ita bag. Nobody will think to look inside my Ita bag. My Ita bag, the only stuff that's inside of it right now is more stuff to add to the Ita bag. Like merchandise that I couldn't fit on it, and then also just like the materials I used to make it. So like my collection of safety pins and all of that stuff. It's like all in there. Purple crayon specifically? Yes, you understand. The purple makes it extra official. It's where she hides the neurons? No, I don't put the brain cells in there. The brain cells are in my brain, where they belong. Because unlike you guys, I do have multiple brain cells. You guys just have one that you have to share. I'm sorry you had to find out this way. Although honestly, you should have known this by now. So maybe you haven't found out this way. 3 is in fact multiple. Yep. Yep, that's all I got in there. I keep my brain cell out because I like to show it off. Well, that's why it keeps getting stolen, bud. Every time you show it off, people are just like, ah, this guy thinks he's so cool having the brain cell. Well, what if I take it? You gotta stop taking it out. Stop it. Semi, we technically share Yuno's brain cell. You share one of the brain cells I chose to give you. Yes. I cannot stop their envious nature. Well, it's not going to be yours anymore if it keeps getting stolen, though. That's why you're supposed to not... That's why you're supposed to not keep showing it off. Like, I'm telling you to protect it. If you want to keep it. But I guess if you don't want to keep it... Next time will be different. You keep falling for their lies. I have canonically stolen Yuno's brain cell at one point. This is true. This is in the canon of the Yuno Hanaki streamverse. But only in the streamverse. Not true to real life. Are any of us smarter than 5th graders or 8th graders? Well, technically I am, because I passed all the levels of spelling in a spelling bee very recently. I only failed during, like, adult level 2. Actually, I guess it would technically be further ahead. Because I made it through 2 rounds, but I failed both my words. Owaru. How will others know how cool it is if we don't show it off? Stop! But you guys are going to get it straight up stolen by a third evil entity if you're not careful. And what's gonna happen then, huh? I won't give you another one if you actually lose it. If you lose it and none of you have it, then you're not getting another one. So you have to be careful. We failed adulting. Pensive, pensive. I did my best. They were hard words. I'd never heard them before. Truly thwarted. We'll keep it safe this time. Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, it's your choice. I did give it to you to share it. But you are the ones that have to be careful with it. That sounded like real parenting. I mean, yeah, I've worked with kids before. I know how to talk to kids. Not necessarily in the sense of acting like a parent, but I know how to deal with kids. Fake words, I maintain. It's true. I do think the way both those words were spelled was just so crazy. I was just like, dang. All of my typical conventions of spelling have been thrown out the window because of the stupid AEEA bullshit. Valuable experience for streaming. I mean, I guess, but the problem is if I talk to you guys too much like that, then you just get super into it and you regress, and I don't know if I can handle all that. Evil? Nah, what would Kaya do with a brain cell and Lynn has like 5 of her own? You think Lynn has 5? She loses like 4 of them whenever we collab as Mialoon, though. I kid. Maybe she only loses 3 of them. I mostly hold on to Mialoon's brain cells whenever we're collabing, though. She has 3 now because she has 2 kittens, but she's not going to take their brain cells. Those kittens need the brain cells so that they can learn and grow properly. She gets infected by Kaya. They really do just gang up on me, don't they?
It be like that sometimes.
Why are you guys always talking about me? Do you see? It's literally never my fault. They bring you up first. It's literally not even my fault. Anyway, hi, Kaya. She has officially stated she has only 1 brain cell and she shares it with the kittens. Ah, okay, so there's 1 brain cell between the 3 of them. And currently the kittens have split it in half so that they can use it to grow. That makes sense. Do we blame Yuno or Kaya for Lynn's brain cell decrease? Obviously, why would it be me? I want my wife to be smart. Put the brain cell in a bank and we'll get a second one in a couple of years due to compound interest. Yeah, there you go. Why don't you guys invest the brain cell that I gave you? Why don't you invest into your future? Because Yuno is Kaya's keeper. I'm really not. I really do not think that is true. I don't think I agree with this assessment. We don't have enough brain cells to know how to invest. Well, that's why you need to invest the one that you have. Are you saying that because she's here? No, I would be saying that even if she wasn't here. I am not Kaya's keeper. Kaya does feel more like a striker. Someone has to keep goal. Yeah, that's me. I'm goalie. Whenever we did net sports in gym, I was always the goalie, and I was always really good at it. Sorry, PE, for those of you that aren't used to the term gym. If you put it away to invest, we wouldn't be able to stare at it in awe. Well, technically you could. You would just have to look into your savings account and not withdraw it. But you would see the record of it if you looked into your savings account.
It's there, you just wouldn't be able to mess with it.
You know, it's really good at getting hit by things. No, I'm good at deflecting things. I never had a situation as the goalie where I would get hit in the face. Or get hit by anything, really. I was always just good at, like, actual deflection. Especially with things like hockey. I was actually quite good at hockey. Me and my hockey stick against the world. We've seen you deflecting. Damn! That's crazy! What kind of call out? I don't know if I deserved that. I also never got hit as the goalie. My teacher always said to stop dodging, though. Well, yeah, that makes you a bad goalie if you're just sitting there dodging. Even then the ball just gets stuck on her horns? I guess, technically. Not wrong. This is so fucked up. This is so sick and twisted. I have the issue where my natural reflex throws me into things instead of away like normal. I was handed goalie equipment all the time. I mean, I think that's good. That's a good reflex to have as a goalie. For me, it was just a lot easier to keep an eye on what everyone else was doing on the main field, and then whenever it came close to me, I knew how to immediately, like, pick up and defend. So if I wasn't goalie, I would always end up being on the defensive line. More of a defensive. I was not very good at offense whenever I got rotated to offense. I presented my one Flyers hockey stick model toy at show and tell in kindergarten. I was like, this is my hockey stick and I like it a lot. That's awesome. That's what kids say in kindergarten. They're just like, this is my thing. It's cool because it's my thing. I did something kind of similar with like a teddy bear that I had. I was just like, this is my teddy bear. That she is named Corduroy. I love her. And that's all I said. And everyone was just like, that's so cool. Wow, you know, Corduroy is so awesome. And this is my Ultra Lord action figure. Sheen, you've shown Ultra Lord 9 times. I can't remember anything I showed and told. That's fair. I just have a surprisingly good memory with some things. Is it useful memory? No. But it's surprisingly good. Can't believe football season has arrived. Congratulations to people that like football, not me though. Never had show and tell, always thought it was a fake movie or show thing. I don't know why they phased it out. I feel like it's a useful technique for getting kids to talk about things that they like and like learning how to tell stories about stuff. I guess kids just aren't allowed to be creative like that anymore. Crazy. Probably people's stuff being stolen. Huh, maybe. I guess that could always be an option. Sag. Sag. I think we had show and tell. Yeah, I had show and tell primarily in kindergarten, but I think I also had it in 1st grade. Stopped by the time I reached 2nd, though. I think. Unless I just don't remember any times I did it in 2nd grade. Tamanashi show and tell. How'd that even work? Would you guys just submit pictures of your favorite things and like a story blurb? And I would just have to share it for you, and then all of you guys could just be like, ooh, ah, Damadachi's things. Yeah? Sounds perfect. Well, there's a stream idea, I guess. I'll have to make a form for it then, probably. Like a form so that you can submit an image, and then I'll let you have like a big text box that you can fill in with a story, and you can make it as long or short as you want. I swear to God, if you guys submit pictures of Ultra Lord, I will throw hands with you. This is my wife. I love her. Ooh, ah. Ooh, wow, your wife. Wow. Ooh, wow. How do we put Yuno's keys? You have to find a time where I had the keys. What else are we supposed to submit? You own things besides Ultralord! You can put other things in there! It doesn't have to be Ultralord! Or how about this? If you guys submit Ultralord, every single time I find an Ultralord submission, I have to do the Miss Fowl. But Damadachi, you've already shown Ultralord 9 times. This is my rock collection. Hell yeah. Tell me about your rocks. Non-Ultralord things are wasted money, really? What the heck? I'm pretty sure there are other things. Crazy work. Common Writer? Sure. I won't understand. But I will happily read about your passion, and I'll be like, that's cool. Thumbs up. Because that's how I am with most things. I will happily enjoy, feeding off of the vibes that your passion gives, and then I'll just be like, that's great. I'll be the only one that understands. No, there might be some others that get it. Ask your wife about Common Writer. I'm good, thank you. I love that she is passionate about Common Writer, but it has never once interested me. However, if she wanted to talk to me about it, I'd just be like, yay! Listening to my wife talk. I have a vivid memory of a show and tell where I brought in a chunk of tar from road repair and showed it off as a lava rock because I believed my parents playing along with me and told the class about the volcano that was definitely here. And a kid shouted out that's just from the road. This is like 2nd grade. That's awesome.
This is a lava rock.
That's definitely such a thing that like a 2nd grader would do. That's awesome. And so funny. Gaslit by parents. That's the thing. Kids, the parents need to learn to be more realistic with their kids. I'm not saying crush their dreams, but like, you can't set them up for failure like that. I couldn't go back to school. I'd have to transfer. I'd have to go home and be like, Mom, I'm never going back. Mother, I have firmly decided I'm not going back to that school. I cannot show my face again. I gotta go. That's so funny. Transfer because of false lava rock. Transfer because you got freaking embarrassed because you got owned in front of the rest of the class, dude. I would just be like, well, my reputation's in the gutter.
Wait.
Think I conquered the glare. Time to post. Yippee! I will take a look at it after stream. What's coming up to hit the goal? What do you mean?
What do you mean? What are you asking?
Are we actually at 1,000?
Yes.
I had to pay my rent. But because I had to pay my rent, I am not as concerned about, the living expenses. Although I do still have to budget for my bills. But yeah, we have not hit the goal yet. I had to take out for rent. So we gotta grind. Having streams to hit the goal, guys, I can't. As much as I would need to, technically, I can't do it anymore. 48 hours is already so much. I don't have the energy to do more endurances. And I'm running out of ideas. So I can't. I don't know what else to do. So I'm just leaving it there and I'm hoping for God to smile upon me at some point. I don't know what else to do.
Because I had thought the Nuzlocke would be something and it wasn't something. So I don't know what else to do.
I can't think of another game that I could play for 48 hours. I can't think of content I could reasonably do for another 48 hours. I don't think I can do another 48 hours, period. I don't even think I could do a week of 12 hours. I think I would just die. What if we send suggestions on Marshmallow? If you want, but like, I don't know what else to do. I don't have the energy. I tried to sit and brainstorm for like ages. And I was just like, I can't figure anything out.
I don't have the strength. I am a weak little worm.
Why 48 hours? Why not 168 hours?
Do you want me to die on stream? Will that work? Will I only get the money if I pass away?
It really do be like that sometimes, huh? Think of the engagement, but you know, number go up if you do that. Think of how number go up. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. My numbers were pretty good during the 48 hours. But, I can't... I can't do it again. It's almost like what they say is true, and if you stay live all of the time, your numbers will actually be pretty good. It's just also, you will die. So you shouldn't do that. I can't. I'm not strong enough. Literally me. Challenge stream to 62 hours and 48 hours. Don't perish, princess. Princess, you don't have to do it. It's okay. Hold on, 62 divided by 48. So in every 90 minutes, I have to cram 90 minutes into an hour. I understand. I have to add an extra half hour to every hour. 168 hours sleeping stream. True. I'm not doing a sleeping stream. People don't like those.
People don't like those. They won't watch. Even if I had passive media. That's the thing, it's too passive.
Only Light Savings Time Marathon stream. Sorry guys, we forgot the last 50 years. It is time. $1 one kiss ASMR. I will literally flow up. Honestly, I really don't think people would want that from me. I'm gonna be so for real with you. Even if I was like,
guys, what if I did a $1 one kiss stream?
All of you would be like, disgusting. Everyone would be like, absolutely not. That wouldn't even be worth $1. Let's be so for real right now. You know, sleeping stream, but we can alter her dreams. How would that even work? $1 one insult.
What do you mean by that? $1 one insult.
I don't think I could do that either. I'm so bad at coming up with insults. It's easier for me to come up with compliments than insults. Insults are hard. You guys should know better. Every time that lands on the wheel, whenever I have a wheel active, I can't figure it out. More tarot and karaoke would be fun. Karaoke really didn't do that well. Tarot did okay. I guess tarot reading could always be a possibility, but I need a way for the tarot reading to actually attract new people. Tarot karaoke. I pick a song that relates to the prediction in the cards. Enlarge the brain for idea. $1 one compliment, $5 is a book recommendation, $25 is 1 minute ASMR of policy safe concept. I don't have a very good ASMR setup also. We need to think about that. $5 equals 1 legit targeted compliment. Short format tarot stream. No, see, if it's short format, people won't donate money. People who watch short streams don't want to pay money. You still have that $1 a sentence? I guess that's true. That story isn't really relevant anymore, though, because there's a lot of kawaii references in it. If we were going to do $1 one sentence again, I'd probably have to start over. Because there's a lot of kawaii references, and I don't think I have permission to mention kawaii talents anymore. And in that story, we were setting up Shiicho to be the villain, so... I guess if I asked Shi for permission, and she was still okay with it, but... There's a lot of kawaii references that I feel like would not be as workable. Now that kawaii's exploded. Fan of Wheel of Torment, Agony, Pain, Wheel of Punishment. Well, okay, if we did the wheel... If I brought a wheel back for anything, I would need ideas for what to put on it, because I don't know. I don't want to just use the same shit that I've used before, though, because it doesn't feel worth it. Because I think someone else mentioned the idea of bringing back the wheel at some point, but, like, I don't know what I could feasibly put on that would allow for it to be worthwhile. $15, 1 Bean Boozled bean. I have to buy Bean Boozled if we do that. Also, you really would kill me, because I hate jelly beans even normally. Like, even the normal good-tasting jelly beans. If I have to taste the icky, yucky flavors, it will actually be over. Evil, nasty, mean Shiicho, the alpha big bad, do it, she'd be so hyped. Was that the one where the guy told you the wrong gun on the wrong tank? Yes. I do remember, because I remember how heated you got about that. There's also something that can be done with normal streams to incentivize donos with crowd control. Pretty long list of compatible games. Yes, I am familiar with crowd control. I have used crowd control once before. It was before we had Nintendo perms. So, I used it for Plants vs. Zombies. That is a stream. I wish I could forget. I guess I could look at the, list of compatible games again. I think I'd have to pay for a crowd control membership, though. Which, I'm trying to avoid things that don't cost too much money. Because kind of the point of this is to raise more. But I think crowd control memberships cost money dollars. Let's not go down that road again. At the very least, if I did it again, it wouldn't be Plants vs. Zombies. But yeah, I think crowd control requires a membership, and you also need to have a certain tier of membership in order to access certain things that you can edit in a game. Like, I understand the appeal of it, but it costs money to join it, I believe. Yeah, you could get the basic features with regular crowd control, but then I think if you want, like, some of the more fun hazards and or boosts, I think you need to have a pro account. I don't know how much a pro account is. Let me look. That's okay, I see. Well, honestly, it's not too bad, the difference between pro and max. But that is still a monthly cost.
Oofies.
Remember, a bunch of games were locked behind membership. Yeah, I could technically do it for free, but it looks like I would need a pro membership for some of the more fun ones. I mean, maybe. Oh my god, backyard baseball. Wait, that'd be kind of awesome. I'll fund it for the fun. What? That's too sweet. I can't believe Backyard Baseball 97 is on here. That's so funny. Kind of cooking. Do you guys know about Backyard Baseball? I watch, one of my favorite streamers, he plays this game sometimes and he just lets them all go on auto. And the shenanigans can get pretty crazy. If I let it go on auto and then you guys did the hazards for... if you guys put in hazards to make it crazy, that could get so goofy. Assuming this works with auto, I actually don't know. I'd have to look into how it works. Also, I don't know how much the PC port is. October 2024. I cannot believe it was added last year. That's funny as hell. CC desktop app? Oh, you're right, crowd control.
An offering. Thank you so much.
Again, thank you for the $20 tip. I guess that is technically enough to start a monthly membership for crowd control. Okay. So maybe if we're crazy, I could go through and pick out some games from this list and we could just do like a week of crowd control type streams. Where I play games for several hours and then everything has crowd control enabled. It depends though. I have to look into some of these games too. Because if there are some games that I have, then that would make it easier. In the case of Backyard Baseball, I'd have to figure out where to get it. I'm looking if there's any other games on here that I would be interested in playing. Difficult game about climbing. I've never played like a game like that before on stream. Although I've played platformers. Difficult game about climbing. What else? Isn't Backyard Baseball on Steam? Is it? I need to find out how much it is then. I don't know. Oh my god, shut up! This program is so annoying. I swear. How much is it on Steam? Put the sausage in the bun. Why is it a game and why is it supported? You'd be surprised. Backyard Baseball. It's specifically Backyard Baseball 97. $10. That's not terrible. I'm dying. Yeah, okay. I mean, it could maybe work. Is this the game that has the auto mode though? 'Cause I don't know if all of them do. It looks like it might be the right one, but I have to examine. There's a global leaderboard. Wait, the listing for this game is kind of crazy. Play with the goat himself. That's awesome. I love a game that doesn't take itself too seriously. You can't pit two AIs together? Let's fucking go, dude. Okay, I'm putting that on the wish list. Alright, I'm taking notes. So definitely backyard baseball. Let's see if there's anything else cool. Egan, thank you for the $10 tip of the cough. Noted. Alright, let's see. What else? Yeah, of course, games like Hades. Binding of Isaac, that makes sense. Cuphead. Getting Over It, the classic. Just a whole slew of Nintendo games. Well, there's the Pokemon games. Crystal, Emerald, Fire Red, Red and Blue. What are the options for Fire Red? Oh god. A lot! Individual Pokemon listings and eggs! Holy bajoli. How many options do you want? Yes, apparently. Peggle if only. I mean, I think I could see if I could get Peggle to work. I could just start a new file on Peggle. Or I could see about Peggle Nights. Would you guys actually participate if I had Peggle as one of the options? Would you actually? Because that's the thing. I need to actually pick things that you guys would actually participate with. If I'm putting in this effort. Alright, let me start taking notes on some of these games. Let's see here. Impromptu work stream, I guess, because we're planning stuff. Backyard baseball. Peggle. I guess I feel like I should do one of those, like, platformer games, like a Getting Over It, or, like, a Jump King, if Jump King is one of the options on here. It's gotta be, right? Probably. We love a productive OniMon. It's rare, but they do happen. I want to try and find games to fill like a week. Wow, is that really all of them? Okay. Well, I don't think there's enough to fill a week. No Jump King, that sucks. Well, I guess that means I have to do Getting Over It. Which I do think I have access to, so it'd be okay. Evander Kessis Florist, thank you for the follow over on Twitch. Thank you, thank you. Getting Over It. Sad there's no Jump King as an option. Well, there's 3. I mean, Pokemon could get pretty cursed. What would the goal even be with another Pokemon stream, though? I've never played Balatro, so that wouldn't really work. It's surprisingly a lot of, like, older games on here, mostly. VLC Media Player, I cannot believe. Makes sense that things like Repo and Peak are on here. What's it like for blueprints? Oh, okay, okay. Force draft rooms. Okay. For when you need chat to backseat your anime watching. Hold on, what are the features it even has? Next, player pause, seek 1 minute, seek 5 minutes, seek minus a minute, speed down, speed normal, speed up. You know what? Fair. That would honestly be really good if I wanted to do the try not to laugh this month. So it adds an extra layer of fear. Where I get the submissions from you guys, I get Hitomi to make it into like an actual like compiled video. I load it into VLC and then we load up the crowd control so that you guys can speed it up or make it worse. That would be kind of funny. That for Shrek watch along would have been funny too. I wasn't watching Shrek through VLC. But I get what you mean. That would be kind of silly. I mean, if I wanted to be brave, which I don't, I could do repo and have crowd control enabled. If I wanted to be brave, which I don't, I'm very bad at repo. If the in water chips drown, we just repeat. No! You'd get me! I have to outlaw that video if we do the try not to laugh. It's not fair that you have a gimme. I can't let you have that. I can't let you have that. Video makes you laugh, repeatedly go backwards to it, and zoning a joke in a new way. No! That would be so bad. It'd be over. We can probably establish a punishment wheel for the try not to laugh also. So if I actually laugh, I have to do something bad or cringe. Me and freaking Wheels just like, I hate coming up with wheel spin concepts. Damanachi rigging the system? No way. Yeah, as if you guys would ever do that. Obviously not. Haha. Haha. I mean, I'm gonna put Pokemon on here just so there's another thing. But, like, I'm gonna not make it like a... The challenge is going to be surviving. Imagine rigging stuff. Yeah, you guys have never rigged anything before ever in your lives. Okay. Well, if we do all of these plus OniMon and members, I would still be at like 6 streams in a week. OniMon and members obviously wouldn't have any crowd control elements. I watched Charlotte Rig, it can't be that hard. Ha 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 ha. It's actually very hard. I still think that she is so powerful for being able to, like, teach herself that skill.
May the Oni lights guide you back to
Because it's difficult. And a pain. And evil. Alex Jacobo, thank you for being a member of the, Oni Lights. For 11 months. Oh my goodness. Thank you. But okay, so the way it's looking is that particular week, which I guess might end up being next week if I can get all of these to work, is... we'd have regular OniMon, and then... Well, I'd probably change what order the games are all in, maybe, depending on vibes. But, Peggle, Backyard Baseball, Getting Over It, probably? And then Pokemon Fire Red. And then, of course, members. One of these days I would still take off, probably Wednesday. Wednesday is usually a go-to off day for me. But then we'd have streams every other day that would be a little bit focused on the grind for the rigging. I mean, I can try. The thing is, I'm so scared about committing to something like this because I don't want it to flop. As much fun as I had during the Nuzlocke, I also was a little bit stressed that it flopped in some ways. So I was just like, we'll see though. We will see. I will think it over. I might talk to Hitomi about it too, just to see feasibility of it. But yeah, no, I want to make the AI fight each other in Backyard Baseball in particular, because that's always so much fun to watch. And if we're also adding buffs and debuffs to make it crazy, hell yeah, brother. Because the AI in that game is already pretty wild. I can only imagine the kind of things that would happen if we then also added our own ability to fuck with it. Same thing with Pego. Pokemon is just a good go-to because I like it. And then... getting over it, I guess, is like the one random one in a way. Just because it isn't usually the kind of game that I play, but... it could be something. I would do my best. I also don't know how long these streams would be. Ideally, I'd probably have to make sure each one goes for as long as possible. Well, they have it for Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion, too. That's good to know. I have to play Spooky's in October, so... that could be something. Not sure if BB97 has power-ups. You might need to check. I already looked at what it offered for... crowd control, but I'll go check again. Arm injury, crazy throw, crosshairless, force bunt, force walk, frame rate, max power, pinch hitter, pitches be crazy, puny fielders, randomized fielders, restless batter syndrome, second string hitter, second string pitcher, sloppy fielder, snow globe, sonic boom, substitute bleacher, and swing king. I have no idea how getting over it works with crowd control. Sounds like a nightmare. Getting over it might uncover a love for Faudian games. Not gonna happen. I mean, I understand the appeal of them. I don't personally think that I would be that angry. Besides the, like, anger that has to be present on stream for people to be incentivized to donate, if we're being real. Let's see. What are the options on getting over it? Anti-gravity, flip camera, high friction, high gravity, invert mouse, which inverts mouse input, launch player, low friction, low gravity, play a random voice line, reset all current progress, shove left, shove right, spin camera, zero gravity. No, make everyone Pablo Sanchez, lame. I know, he's the GOAT, and you can't make everyone Pablo. I'm guessing that would be really hard to do, just based on what was available for them to port the game to Steam. But yeah, no, it looks like there's some pretty decent options. A lot of it is mostly just forcing me to go in different directions and also changing things like gravity or the friction of objects. And some of them are timed too, like high and low friction, and also anti-gravity and high gravity are like 30 seconds long. So that could get goofy real quick. And then I'd die. And it'd be over. How much is the reset one? 1,500 coins. Which makes sense. If you're going to reset my progress and send me back to the beginning of the goddamn game, it better be that high. It better be that high. I should hope so. I mean, I think I can adjust the cost of it, technically. If I were to do that. Hmm. And I wouldn't worry about the Pokemon one. I wouldn't worry about that, sweetheart. There's like every feature under the sun. It's mostly just like force assigning Pokemon. From what I've seen of other people playing it, it can get like particularly like insane. If you want, like, you could burn the whole party. You could like de-level party members. You could force me to fight a random Pokemon no matter where I am in the game. You could feint my whole party and make me white out. Freeze the party. You can heal the party. You can also heal the enemy if you want. Assign literally any egg. You can give badges. I'm guessing you could probably also take badges. You could also give like random items from what I remember too. So you could like sabotage by filling my item with a bunch of bullshit. The streamer that I watched use the Fire Red crowd control basically made it that they had like a set of tasks that they had to complete before it would count as a victory. And then they had like almost everything enabled for fuckery so that chat could try and stop them from completing their list of tasks. So maybe I could do something kind of similar? Enjoy your endless mails. No! My bag's full of mail. Yeah, a lot of these are just a bunch of items and Pokemon eggs also. Handing egg. TMs. Held items. It could get really goofy. Also, from what I remember, warp is crazy. You could choose to warp the player, like, anywhere. You could also choose to take my money, poison me, paralyze me.
An offering. Thank you so much. Here, thank you for the $10 tip. Just helping to get us there. Thank you. It means a lot to me. Thank you. Every little bit does help.
Yeah, that could be an option. I think a lot of these I might disable just because I think it would get a little too goofy. Because I know certain things did also cause, like, game crashes. You get soft-locked by the warp? Probably, because the warping can happen at, like, literally any point whenever crowd control registers that the warp was activated. For example, in the video that I watched by this streamer, one of his goals was to buy... I think he had to buy like 5 potions total, and if you teleport, basically what I'm trying to say is you could activate the warp while I am talking to the guy in the item shop, or you could teleport me away from the item shop and throw me somewhere else on the map. And another one of his goals was like defeating Brock, so you could prevent me from getting to Pewter City by teleporting me out and sending me somewhere else. And if it's before I've gotten like HMs or anything, I wouldn't be able to like surf back to Pewter. And then also, if more people had the coins, you could just keep warping me around and I could just never be able to accomplish anything. That stream was pretty wild, from what I saw of it. I was watching like a highlight reel. I didn't watch the whole thing, but he kept getting warped to Cinnabar Island and he was like, please get me out of here. Please stop sending me to Cinnabar. Really funny. But I'm guessing the level of customization is probably also present in games like Emerald. Yeah, pretty similar vibe. Just like different Pokemon options, perhaps. Yeah. So, like, I don't know. It could be interesting if we did that. Oh, you could force the game to speed up? That's crazy. Transform the ground into slippery ice, forcing the player to move in a single direction until they hit something. You could turn the ground into an ice puzzle? Oh, I would be over. I'd perish. I wouldn't know what to do. I'd just be like, I guess I'm die. Reminds me of that streamer that made a way for people to control NPC speech in Skyrim with TTS. Oh my god. That sounds crazy. Yeah, that's not crowd control. That's more like a game mod. That kind of stuff's so cool. It's so over for you. It's Yuno. I would never make any progress ever again. I'd just be like, well. I can't walk. World's an ice puzzle. Time to warp during Silph Go. No! Ice puzzle in the book is she can't get out. Not unless someone warps me. But joke's on me, I just get warped back to Cinnabar and I'm just like, I can't do anything here! Do you understand the appeal now? Do you understand why it's funny? Just before the champion fight, warp. You think I'm gonna make it to the champion fight? You have a lot of faith in me. You have a lot of faith in me, and that's very sweet of you. It should warp into Silphco. I don't think you can warp into buildings. I think if you warp me, I end up, like, outside of a Pokemon Center in, like, a map, or, like, wherever a Pokemon Center is. It basically works like teleport, do you know what I mean? Because teleport warps you to the last Pokemon Center you visited. So it would just warp me to places that have Pokemon Centers. It wouldn't be Silphco. You could put me in the town that has Silphco, but I don't think you could put me in Silphco. Frick you, Mount Moon Pokemon Center. Hey, you deadass could. I don't know if it lets you choose where you send someone. Is the thing. I don't actually know if it lets you choose it. It kind of seemed like you could, considering how often the guy that I watched was getting sent to Cinnabar. But I don't know how easily you can choose. But perhaps you can choose. Yeah, maybe I will brainstorm with Hitomi a little bit about some of these too. We can plan for something. Champion fight, rematch youngster Joey first, palette port. Again, very bold of you guys to think I'll even be able to fight the champion. You think I'll even be able to make it to the first gym if I have warping enabled? You guys would kill me. But yeah, I've got ideas for some ideas for some ideas. I love communication. I've got ideas for crowd control streams we could do, maybe. It's warped to Indigo Plateau. I mean, you could. I wouldn't be able to progress because I'd probably have no badges. But you could send me there. And I'd just be like, ah, frick. I'm illegally trespassing. I don't have badges and yet I'm here. But yeah, maybe. But no, what I wanted to say before is that one of the things with crowd control that I'm nervous about is both the idea that it could flop and then also the most value would probably only happen if I could play for like as long as possible. So you might actually get a lot of endurances, at the very least probably close to 12 hours for each one, just because there would need to be time for me to try and make any progress, and I also just think it would allow for like more people to see it, because that would be part of the goal with this, to ensure that people would like actually be there to participate in the crowd controlling. That's a lot of endurance. Well, look at it this way. The whole reason we're even having this discussion is because I need to do something to try and hit the goal for the rigging. So I guess, by all accounts, I have to put in the work. Why 12 hours? Why not 48? 48 hours for each one? That's like... That's like... 8 days of non-stop streaming. That's 8 days of non-stop streaming, are you sure? Blows up. Is something like Played Up an option for crowd control? The only games that I saw that were co-op were like games like Peak and well, I guess some of these have co-op, but there's like Lethal Company, Peak, Don't Starve Together, Repo, Alien Tail Tavern, Baldur's Gate. Stardew Valley. I don't know how many of these games have co-op, but like those are the ones that I immediately know that have co-op. Content warning. I imagine some of these also have co-op, but those are the ones that I know immediately, like offhand, off rip, that have co-op. Math into that's 2 days. No, I'm saying if each one is 48 hours, then I'd be committing 2 days per stream, so that would be 8 days worth of streams. Don't fucking say mathant, I know what I meant. Because I'd be dedicating 2 days to each game. Unless what you're suggesting is we do it in like a gauntlet and I do each stream and each one has 12 hours dedicated to it for another 48-hour event. Which is different from what I was saying. But I guess it would be possible. It would just be quite exhausting. You know, Pale-ish. I mean, what else do I gotta do if I want to earn my keep? Earn my rig. I gotta do it. Or else it's Jover. Don't want to see you burning yourself out. Well, I don't really have a lot of choices. I can't do anything else. Math, not every game. One, you get free minutes to untie it. Once untied, you're free to go back on the clock for the Unathon. I don't know how to tell you this, but I have been whittling down my time from the Unathon. I haven't done the math. But the streams that I've done, including the 48-hour Nuzlocke, have counted towards the Unathon clock. But I haven't done the math for how much I've managed to whittle down. Honestly, not much. Ultimately, I don't think it's really been much. Good evening, how goes life? It goes okay. I've been trying to avoid getting sick, and I think I'm mostly there. I think if I can manage to get some good rest tonight, I'll probably be able to avoid illness, which is a win. A win for the Yuno Hanakis everywhere. Currently we're talking about a crowd control endurance event thing. Maybe. Because I still have to earn some money for my 2.0 rigging. So, thinking about planning another event and exploding. We'll see though. Good to hear. I hope you've been good. Sounds fun. It could be. The games that I've been looking into using it with have been fun. Some of them I think sound quite silly. So that's like the one perk of this. We will see. Baseball's gonna go crazy. Baseball is gonna make me hype as hell. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm so excited for baseball. We're gonna get so heated up about Little League Baseball. Currently having a hard time typing with one hand while playing Alleyway on the Game Boy with the other. My goodness. But yeah, no, I will admit, I think the thing I'm most excited about is Backyard Baseball. If we get into it enough, we could probably even, like, I could probably even, like, actually make a team and, like, play. And then we could sabotage my play, too. If we get into it. Which I feel like is very likely, knowing us. Managed to type this and that without dying, so I can't complain. You know what? True. Very talented. I probably would not be able to do it. But yeah, I'll talk to Hitomi about some of these and see if it would be viable for some. Because I think getting second opinions will be helpful for me so that I don't dodge. Yeah, that's kind of how it's looking. I think if I do plan this out, it would be OniMon and then one of the games, then a day off, and then the rest of the games would be Thursday, Friday. Well, actually, I could probably do one on a Sunday. So Sunday and then OniMon, another game break, and then Thursday, Friday, more endurances, and then Saturday would be members. Well, Twitch only and members. Maybe. Unless I die. Which could also happen. Unless I die. But maybe I won't. I'm big and strong and big and strong and big, so maybe I wouldn't. Try not to. We'll see. What? Life insurance? I don't have to worry about that. I'm an immortal Oni. What's life insurance? I ain't gotta worry about all that. I can't die. Life insurance? I sure hope it does. I don't think it works like that. Wife insurance. Dang, we can't collect. Damn, you're hoping to collect? That's fricked up. Tamagotchi insurance? You guys cost like 50 cents per, so figure that out amongst yourselves. Can't die but can suffer. Finger guns. Now you're catching on. Now you get it. I'm actually going to become known as the endurance streamer at this rate. Holy. You guys excited for my new brand? It's 50 times higher than I thought. Yeah, look at it that way. Be positive. That's a good shtick. Is it though? Is it though? She thinks we're worth 50 cents. It's just because there's so many of you. Yuno Endurance Hanaki. That's me. Yuno E Hanaki.
An offering. Thank you so much.
Daniel Smith, thank you for the $4.50 tip. 50 per. I'll take nyan. Meow meow meow. Floor Pasta 1998. Thank you for the follow over on Twitch. You know what time it is? Time to get a watch. Group discount goes burr on that plan. You could say it goes per. Meow. It goes per. Well, I was gonna say something else, but I forgot. Ah, frick. Oh, frick. Flick. I forgot. It must not have been that important if I forgot. Because I did forgot. Narrator, it was in fact very important. No! Mr. Narrator, I can't help the fact that I forgot. Don't say it was important.
Thank you so much. Fizzle Pickle, thank you for the $24.50 tip. One step closer. Nice. Nice! We got a 69 in the house.
Thank you. Very appreciated. Nice, nice, nice. Nice. We do what we gotta do. Thank you. Little bit closer. Six is no longer afraid of 9. We love that for them. Yeah! Yeah, you did math. Good job. I'm so proud of you. End to the power of ice. That's true. I could use some ice. Whatever this, like, warm feeling I've been feeling all stream is, I hope it goes away. Because, man, am I warm. I assume it's the medicine doing its work on me and my body trying to actually get the illness out. I'm suffering. Please. I just want to wake up in the morning and have it be gone. Please. I'm just a little guy. Warm feeling is the love you have for us. Okay. Sure. At least the warm feeling is not pee. I mean, I guess? You're not wrong? I don't know why your first conclusion was to say that. I too my D2. Thank you for the hydrate redeem. I take sip of water. I'm almost out of water. Also, if you're wondering, I finished my donut like 40 minutes into stream. Are you proud of me? It didn't take me an entire stream to eat a donut. Are you proud of me? I'm proud of myself. You know speed eating? Is that speed eating in this world? That's character development. You know what that is? That's growth. Enjoy the donut, do not rush. I did not rush. I managed to eat it. Actually ate the donut. Dang, you are sick. I do always eat my food when I have it on stream. It just takes me a long time because I'm yapping. I can't help it. The place where I talk from is also where the food needs to go. But yeah, I finished the donut like 30 or 40 minutes into stream. I think it was 40. And I drank all my milk. I got calcium in my body. Yay. Calcium. I love that for me. And I'm almost out of water. That's why I wanted to say that, because I was like, in case you're wondering, I had my snack a while ago, and now I'm almost out of water. Curse Oni human anatomy? I mean, I think most people only have one mouth. Cannot yap while chewing, that seems like a bug. It's not so much a bug as I don't want to be gross. Talking with your mouth full of food is disgusting. And impolite. Disgusting. Nobody wants to listen to that kind of sound. Unless you're like into that kind of thing, I guess. But you're not getting that here. You're not getting that kind of content here. $1 one donut bite? Can I, please? Can I please? I'll literally go get a dozen donuts. Can I please? Proceeds to get no donuts. That would be the irony, wouldn't it? I have a whole dozen of donuts and I can't eat them because I haven't gotten any donations for it. So I'm just like, well, I guess this is just another Zatsu. Maple donut where? Ugh, I would have to actually, like, venture out and pray that the donuts aren't out. Put it on the wheel? What do you mean put it on the wheel? I don't have a dozen donuts. I would have to get more. Donut eating wheel option. Yuno eats a donut and I'm just like, oh god. Because I keep rolling it and I have to keep adding a donut even though I haven't finished the first one. Truly a nightmare, I think. Wheel spin for take a bite of donut. What if the donut gets stale sitting next to me? Short-lived was Yuno's mukbang career. Listen, if it was just about capacity and not about speed, then I would probably have a pretty decent mukbang career. The only problem is I yap too much, and people would get so sick of my ass because they would just be like, she's not eating enough food, she just keeps talking. Because most people that watch mukbang are there for the actual eating of the food. And like a little bit of talking in between. But I can't lock in and eat. I would have the urge to yap. All the donuts are Boston cream, but Boston cream donuts are good. That wouldn't be that bad. That wouldn't torture me. Just take big bites? No! Then I wouldn't be able to talk for longer because I'd have to chew. Says that theory commenced Chubby Bunny. I don't have marshmallows. Sorry to disappoint, but I do not have marshmallows on my person. Or isn't that Boston cream is my favorite? Yeah, Boston cream is good. Honestly, when there isn't like a seasonal flavor that I like, or if I can't get access to the maple donuts, I love to get Boston creams. They're yummy. Are you going to kill our streamer, Chubby Bunny? Am I going to have like a separate wheel spin incentive separate from the crowd control where you guys just torture me? Make me do Chubby Bunny? Chubby Bunny is so outdated. When's the last time someone did a Chubby Bunny challenge? Frickin' 2002? What the freak? Torture, you mean feed you? I eat! I don't know why you're acting like I don't eat. I'm just saying specifically during streams, it's tough. YouTube wasn't a thing in 2002. People definitely did Chubby Bunny before YouTube. Point invalid.
An offering. Thank you so much.
Pointless speculations. Thank you for the $20 tip. See how many campfire marshmallows this gets you at Walmart. I'm not buying marshmallows! We're not doing Chubby Bunny! Chubby Bunny endurance crowd control streamer. I don't think I want all of these things attached to me. VTuber planking challenge. I don't know if that would work. $5 a marshmallow throughout your stream? Oh my god. That sounds crazy. You guys are sick. You're sick. Oh my god. What are they doing over there? Jesus. Sorry. Neighbors are particularly loud right now. It's like rattling my walls. What the fuck? That's crazy. Like, normally there's pounding, but that's like wall slamming. Like, wall slamming, like shaking my walls. Heh. Kool-Aid Man again? I guess. And they're like actually trying to Kool-Aid Man my wall at this rate. Competitive bunny jumping. Don't like you calling it that. Gotta say, don't like it being called that. Don't like that very much. In case you weren't aware. Don't like it. My own neighbors are doing their best to drown out your neighbors. I can't hear a thing. I love that for you. I actually don't. I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of how noisy neighbors can be sometimes. I think they managed to calm down, because I haven't heard it again. But it was, like, really loud. And that's why I was so confused. I was just like, what? For a second, I thought they were pounding because they wanted me to shut up, but I was just like, I don't think I've been that loud. At least not any louder than I've usually been on a Monday. Mondays are for yapping, after all.
I don't think I've been loud. Jax King Cole 420, thank you for the follow over on Twitch. Welcome in, welcome in. Yes, hello, welcome. What was the second? Oh. Follower goal. Yippee! That doesn't show up in my Stream Elements alerts because it's not tied to Stream Elements. Yippee! Follower goals, let's freaking go!
Are they pounding because they want to hear you scream? I don't want to scream! Time for a base check. Good thing the only neighbor is that weird green girl. The weird green girl who barely leaves her house. And she doesn't complain when we're loud, so clearly we can do whatever we want. And I'm just like, yup. Yup.
How are you doing today? I'm okay. I hope you've been well.
Getting through it, getting through it. What's this mysterious alt chat you are talking to? I'm talking to Twitch. Because I'm multi-streaming. I'm a multi-streamer now. In case you forgot. Sounds about right?
I hope you've been good.
Way too passive to actually call the cops on us, trust. Speaking of, funny thing to note about the contract that I signed to renew for this place, but it actually mentions regarding like noise complaints that the landlords will not be involved. They're literally just like, if there's a noise complaint, you have to take it to the police. We only care if we get told that there was a noise complaint that was reported about you. And then I think it said if you infract twice, that would be grounds to terminate your contract and kick you out. I think. But anyway, that's the fun thing. So my only options are deal with it between me and the neighbors or report it to the police right away. But I don't think it's a police-worthy matter. It's just kind of noisy. I'm lucky that right now I'm not trying to sleep. Glad they didn't overreact. So we can do it once. We can do it once. We can't do it twice. No, I've never really been in danger of being a noise complaint girly. I'm not a very loud individual. You guys know this. I don't usually get that loud. I don't peak the mic ever. I'm too chill. I'm too low energy. Well, low energy is not the right word. I'm too mellow. What? I couldn't hear you? I don't ever peak the mic. You guys don't really pick the mic. I'm really quiet. You didn't really hear me all that much. I don't ever really peek the mic. My audio is definitely better now that I've fixed my audio settings. Are you enhancing your audio? Sorry, could you say that again? That's literally my nightmare. Stop. The amount of times that's been said to me whenever I'm talking to people, I'm always just like, oh god, it's happening again. Gotta figure out dinner before it's too late. Okay, good luck figuring out your food. I hope you eat something yummy. Gasp, you know, as a mumble rapper. That idea is pretty funny. Good idea, but maybe for lunch. Ooh, yeah, pizza. You're trying to say something to someone and they aren't hearing you, so they keep saying what, and you just say, forget it. God, stop. Don't come for me like this. That happens to me both ways, because I also have really bad auditory processing. There's so many times where I will genuinely try to listen to someone, and there's just a part of my listening that just fizzles out, and I'm just like, what? And then it keeps happening even when I try to hone in and focus. And I'm just like, oh god. What? Yeah, see? It's so bad. I don't do it on purpose. I'm just... Sometimes my ears just don't work good. What? Huh? Now we're all doing it. We all just sound like people in an old folks home. What? Huh? I can't hear you. But no, even to my beloved bestie Hitomi, if I try to listen to her, sometimes she'll say something and her sentence will just kind of dissolve into something, and I'm like, what? And I have to make her say it like 3 or 4 times because I just can't process it. My ears are so broken. Billy! Is that you, Billy? Speak up. No, stop. Could you speak up, dearie? My ears aren't what they used to be. Mine are broken for being around heavy machinery for the last decade. Mine are probably broken because I wear headphones so much. I constantly wear over-ear headphones. Well, I shouldn't say constantly. I do try to keep them off as much as I can. But I know that this is technically bad for my ears. My ex would get so annoyed by that. You know what I said? No, I really didn't. I know, it's the worst. I'm just genuinely like, please. I know it's bad to have to keep asking you to repeat yourself, but it's because I just really can't understand it. Do they have cat ears? No. They're like very basic, high quality headphones. High quality as in they're like actually really good at making sure that I can hear all the audio I need to hear properly for all the audio work I do, and then also because I need to be able to hear clearly when I'm checking my audio on OBS for streaming. They're not like high-tech quality, I would say, but they are like professional grade headphones. They're quite good. I like them very much. And they're comfy. So I can wear them for a long time and it doesn't bother me. Slay. You know, sacrifice your hearing to the altar of Vocaloid songs, and I would do it again if it would make Hatsune Miku happy. Next question. If that's what I have to do to make Hatsune Miku smile at me, then I would do it 1,000 times over. She can take my ears off of my head if she wants. Next question. Comfy is the important part. No ear pain, no head dent. Yep, no head dent. I laughed when people were talking about how they have dents from their headphones. Like, despite how much I wear these, I don't have a head dent. I have checked my head. I'm very lucky. Did you guys say happy birthday to Hatsune Miku yesterday? It's happy birthday to Vocaloid. Miku's actual birthday isn't until March 9th. We don't spread lies in this house. Vocaloid as a franchise was born yesterday. But Hatsune Miku's actual birthday? March 9th. Miku. The horns help protect her. Yeah, I can't really have a head dent when my head already has to adapt to having horns coming out. This is true. You're saying she's not 18 yet? Well, technically, when Miku was born, she was 16, so she's much older. Vocaloid itself has been around for 18 years now. Google and Krypton say her birthday was yesterday. It's not her birthday! Her birthday is March 9th. She was one of the first Vocaloid, yes, so the Vocaloid project was born August 31st. But her birthday is March 9th. That's when everybody celebrates Miku Hatsune's birthday. The age of 30 is in demand. You hear that, Hatsune Miku? You're all good. And she's just like, yippee! Everyone celebrates Miku every day. This is true. Every day is a good day to celebrate Miku. It doesn't even have to be her birthday. She deserves it. She is the queen of the world after all. Seka! Miku is worth celebrating? Yes. Lemon! Oh. I love that video. That video is everything to me. Your birthday is the date the Corpo hired you onto the project team is a little too techno-dystopian. Why do you think that VTubers are not born on the day that they debut, usually? Unless they choose to debut on their birthday. Usually. I think it would be a little bit crazy if you had like 5-member gens debuting and all of them had a birthday on the same day. Could you imagine how crazy that would be for fans? Conception is not birthday? No, of course not, dude. It's like having your birthday on Christmas. I'm sorry, Jesus. Oof, ouch, the wallet. That's what I mean. Anniversary merch for the gen, and then anniversary for the individual talent, and then also birthday merch. Assuming the Corpo is nice enough to make all of it separate, that'd be crazy. Pick a present under the tree, that's the birthday one. Man. Man. Too real. Sorry, Jesus, but Eustace demands it? What? I didn't demand anything! Why is this about me all of a sudden? What the heck? What the hey? Birthday after Christmas is always 50-50. Fair. I guess that makes sense. Wait. My nose. Yuno died for our grammar. Blech. Blech. 3 rewrites later, she a rose or was it a lily? I'm going to fight. I'm going to engage in fisticuffs. Put them up. Put up your dukes right now. Blech.
Put them up and fight me.
Have at ye.
It's time to fight. Let's get silly with it.
It's fun to know how to hurt a streamer. No! I hate it! I don't want to get all overly corrective. So I'm currently into a fandom that has a lot of fan songs. I promise this is relevant to the current conversation. I promise. But I'm into a fandom right now that has a lot of like fan created songs where people will make like songs for the characters and stuff. And I've been listening to them a little bit because some have been quite good. I was actually listening to one earlier today though that like had such confusing grammar that it literally took me out of enjoying the song because I just didn't understand what was being said. And I was like, I was very upset. I can't lock in listening to a song if I don't understand the grammatical structure. It literally knocked me out of my immersion. I was just like, no, I can't do it. And it sucks because the song had a lot of potential, but I got to that second verse and it just made no fucking sense. And I was like, hello? What are you saying? And I literally couldn't listen to it anymore. I had to pause it and be like, Hitomi, you won't believe what I just heard. Pain of an English major. It happens to me so much. And like, the thing is, I think people really just don't understand the value of having someone who is like a dedicated lyricist to like produce a song. There isn't anything bad or shameful about being able to compose but not being able to write lyrics. Like, you don't have to be a song composer and then also a lyric writer. And it's just kind of like, you could work with somebody else, or like you could have somebody else look it over. You can get help. Like, I felt bad for saying it because obviously it was like a artistic project and they were very like, you know, especially because it's a fan project. I feel like I shouldn't be getting harping on the grammatical structure of something that's a fan project. It's not like it's official. But I was just sitting there like, man. It's not that hard to just get a lyricist. Just get a lyricist. Please. You'd never have survived 90s alt rock before the days of searching for lyrics easily on the internet. Mumble rap karaoke stream win. I don't know enough mumble rap. I'm with you on this 100,000%. Yeah. It's just like, I feel like it's okay to have people that are like independently just lyricists to like work on a song. I know a lot of people like to do things themselves, and I understand that the best way to get better is to practice. But like, I don't know, there's just something about like, I feel like people don't understand the work that goes into lyric writing. And so then they write it and they're just like, oh, this just works because it rhymes. And then you're stuck looking at it like, but what does this line mean? But like, what does this mean? Because the thing about songs too is that you have to focus a lot more on making sure each line has purpose and intent so that you can both keep the story going and then it also like has multiple meanings. And it's like creative and like evokes imagery. It's a form of poetry, which means, and poetry is also like extremely thoughtful and purposeful with word choices. It's just always kind of like, Like, to me, it sometimes just feels like people choose words because they rhyme, and then I'm like, yeah, but then what does it mean? And then if the grammar's off too, I'm usually just like, I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm big baby like that. It takes me out of the immersion a lot. It's a beautiful thing, you don't need to know it, I guess. But I also feel like it's disrespectful. I listen to J-pop and K-pop, lyrics have no meaning to me. Okay, but just because you don't understand the language doesn't mean that it isn't, like, purposeful and, like, poetic within the native language. Like, for the people that speak it natively, there is a lot of, like, meaning and purpose to it. And then, of course, there's also always going to be songs where there isn't intended to be a purpose. But it's like that in English, too. Sometimes songs literally just aren't meant to have that kind of a purpose. But I don't know. I still think you should care a little bit. At the very least, I wish people weren't so afraid to have, like, a lyricist write lyrics for a song. Or at least have it looked over by a lyricist or something. Just so you can make those little tweaks and make the song even better. But, you know, I'm annoying. I'm blue dabba dee dabba die. I mean, at least the rest of that song does have meaning, though. It's just that the chorus is just really... not really mumble rappy, but it's just a lot of, like, nonsense words that play along with the beat. But the rest of the song does have meaning. If by meaning you mean things being blue. Yeah, but in the song, blue is also a metaphor for sadness. Everything around this guy is blue because he's sad. It's a metaphor for depression. Shakes you. He's depressed and he's trying to make the most out of his situation in this blue world. I thought about that after your karaoke. My favorite country songs are the story songs. Yeah! Country does a pretty good job of having stories. Criticize it for everything else. The lyrics usually do tell a story. You go from point A to point B to point C. Beginning, middle, and end. I remember going into heated arguments with a friend because I was adamant it was if I were green I would die. I guess. I never heard that. I know that was a common misheard lyric. And people would just sing it that way because they thought it was funny. But I never knew people, like, legitimately believed that was actually the lyric. I thought that was just, like, a joke from, like, the misheard lyrics era. That's not what the aliens in the MV show me. Well, music videos also will often have, like, entirely different interpretations of songs, too. They do that for fun, also. Are you sure it's not a reference to the sea? It's not. There's literally a line where it's like everything is blue for him and himself and everybody around him because he ain't got nobody to listen. That's depression, baby. That's depression and loneliness and isolation. Shit's blue dabba dee dabba die. And now obviously, it is possible to have multiple interpretations of a song. Just like how you can literally get anything you want out of a literature. High school English tries to tell you that there's only one definitive way to interpret something, but, like, it's not true. You can always interpret it a bunch of ways. The only way you can ever truly know is if an artist comes out and says, the song means this. Maybe he means blue as in Arrow movies. Everything's blue because he's a protagonist in an Arrow movie? Sure. Whatever you want. Nobody will listen because everybody around him just wants him for sex. Let's go with that. AP Lit taught me the concept of death of the author too. Well, death of the author is a bit different, and I think mostly only applies to, like, cases where, you know, certain things can be excused in relation to the author. I don't think you can fully you can cry death of the author for, like, any interpretation. Why are they called blue movies anyway? Because you watch them in the middle of the night with low lighting, so the lighting's kind of bluish. I don't know, I'm bullshitting, I honestly don't know. OMG, Yuno said the S word again, oh my god! Yeah, cry about it. My favorite is when the creator comes out with what something means and the fandom hates it and chooses their own meaning instead. I know, right? I'm very guilty of this. But the thing is, though, I also don't go around and say that my interpretation is the only interpretation, especially if an author has come out and, like, flat out confirmed something. I just keep my disappointment to myself. And my fan fiction. It's just me and my journal against the world, man. Because, like, I made that argument about the song Blue, but I'm not literally going to be like, if you interpret it any other way, you're wrong. I just think if you don't think there's any meaning, then that is incorrect. Because there's always going to be a meaning in something. I don't think people can create art and have it be completely meaningless. It always comes back to fanfic. Fanfic is how I cope. Fix-it fic is one of my favorite genres for a reason. I love fix-it fic because you can literally, like, deal with any of the problems in canon and fix them the way that you want to fix them. And you get to just be like, yippee, 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 my world now. I do that so much. And I would say I'm valid for that. Ooh, didn't like that ending. Time to fix. Literally me. Never say that on my channel again. I'm deleting that comment. Never say that here ever again. But yeah, no, fix-it fics are useful for that reason. At any rate, though. I think, like, most things have value. I think it's very rare to, like, make an art piece that doesn't have value. I think it'd be hard-pressed to say, like, you just made something and it means nothing. There's always a little bit of something in there. What's something you rewrote the ending to? Rewrote the ending. Well, it wasn't so much rewrote the ending as it was that I ignored a ship that was made canon by the original material. Material and definitive, and I was like, interesting. I don't agree. I think that's, like, the worst that I've done. I usually don't care that much about endings, because I usually don't make a lot of stuff in canon universes anyway. Usually I will just go full alternate universe. I'll just take the characters that I like and be like, I go here now. I'm trying to think if there are any examples of, like, canon IP that I wanted to just write an alternate ending to. Now you two kiss. I'm trying to think. I'm going through my memory of, like, things that I've written. Have I ever written that kind of fix-it-fic before? I usually read good fix-it-fic. I don't tend to write it as much. Ichigo 100% ending, so much nope. I don't know anything about Ichigo 100%. I've heard of it, but I really don't know that much about it. Specifically, I've heard the title before, I should say. Thus, I know nothing about it. Maybe Bustafellows? The thing about Bustafellows... The thing about Bustafellows is all of its endings are open-ended anyway. So there isn't really a reason to write it as a fix-it-fic, because it doesn't... It's never had a closed ending. Both Game 1 and Game 2, as much as I can avoid spoilers, end very openly and leave a lot of room for just, like, whatever you want, kinda. You can just kind of choose to write what you want, and I don't think that necessarily counts as fix-it, because it's already open. Like, you could literally just say whatever you're writing counts as, like, happening immediately after the events of the end of the game, because it was so open-ended that there isn't really a way for it to not... for it to be countered, I guess, for lack of a better term. Like, you can't really counter it, because it's like... sure. We don't know what happened after the last scene of the game. That's unique to Bustafellows, though. Let me think. Oh, actually, I do have an example. I don't want to get into the weeds about this because this is a fandom that I have tried to leave behind me, and thinking about it too much will make me literally flow up. Voltron Legendary Defenders. Just speaking the name out loud makes me feel like I'm invoking the frickin' evil spirits. I feel like I'm summoning Satan. God. Toxic fandom. Toxic IP. If we're going to talk about fucking wishing for death of the author, I sure wish death of the author applied to that motherfucking series, because holy, I have never been so involved in a fandom where the creators of the thing hated their fandom so much they would go out of their way to be, like, super mean and, like, make their canon material be, like, super spiteful towards the fan base. It started out so promising, and then the fandom ended up being one of the fucking worst things to grace this earth, and then because of that, the creators hated the fandom, and so they would go out of their way to spite their fandom and make so many choices that were just so wrong and bad, and then they would make the voice actors be mouthpieces for the characters, well, not for the characters, but, like, for the story, and be like, I think that this is the right direction, and anybody who criticizes this is wrong. Our story is so deep and thoughtful and meaningful, even though they're literally doing everything that's, like, wrong and bad possible in order to, like, tout the wokeness of their work, and I'm just like, you suck. No, I already said the fandom. Voltron Legendary Defenders. Don't make me say it a third time. It's like Beetlejuice. You say it too much, and it's just gonna activate. Sleeper agents are going to come after me. There's gonna be a red dot on my forehead. God, I was so angry at that IP. Don't say it thrice. Yeah, no. I know better. The stream skipped when you said it the first time? Oh, that's hilarious. The stream was trying to protect you. How dare you diss Voltron? I'll do it again. You can't tell me that you supported that show all the way through and still liked it. You had to have fallen off the train at some point. It was literally so bad. The minute it caught on fire the first time, it just stayed on fire, and the fire kept spreading. And some people chose to stay on the sinking ship for whatever weird reason. Me? I could never. What's it about? This is the first I've heard of that series. Do you know anything about the original Voltron? Voltron is like a well, not Super Sentai, but it's like a... Imagine Power Rangers, but they only have the Megazords. It like focuses a lot about on the Zords. Also, they're in space. Intergalactic space travel. It's not really a mecha, because they don't really fight mechas, other mechas a lot of the time. They're mostly fighting aliens. I guess you could say it's a mecha. But I feel like, to me, mecha means that they're fighting other mechas. Almost Gundam, I guess? But yeah, so imagine, like, okay, so Voltron's been like a big IP for a while. Imagine that it gets picked up by DreamWorks Animation for like a total like rebranding for a show that gets put on Netflix. And they have like entirely new interpretations of these characters that were beloved in the past. They make a few key changes to how the cast works. And then... and then their fandom strikes. First season is pretty smooth, I would say. So they've made a lot of key changes to how the characters are from the original IP. I can't say anything about the original IP. I never watched it. I only know because I remember from when I was in the fandom and people would talk about the differences. But it was usually welcomed because it added a little bit more of like diversity in a lot of ways. And people were like intrigued by the fact that certain characters were assigned different colors and like different parts of the big bot that is Voltron. Like they were assigned different colors and like different vibes. I think the only ones that were the same were Hunk and Pidge were their normal colors. I think everybody else like color swapped. And then characters like Allura, who were originally part of like the main Voltron, were not part of the main Voltron initially. She had her own like pink suit because she's a girl. That's what you do with girls. You assign them pink. Anyways, the season 1 is okay. Gets a lot of like attention. People are like super into it. They have like their ride or die ships because of certain bits of like queer baiting. Season 2 happens and like they're kind of starting to take a different direction and everybody's just like, huh, okay. One of the key characters is implied to go missing. I'm gonna try not to spoil it. And then the show kind of really starts going off its rocker from like season 3 onwards. I don't remember how many seasons it ended up getting. I want to say maybe 5 or 6. But imagine that it gets worse from the end of season 2, and then for some reason it keeps going. I think that there are a lot of things that kind of went wrong with all of it, but grand majority is fandom would be like 8? Oh my god, more than I thought. Okay, damn. Sorry. I don't have very good memory. It's been forever since I consumed it, because I stopped watching, I think, after season 3. Maybe I watched season 4? I don't remember. I stopped watching pretty early because I got really frustrated. But basically, fandom is known for harassing the creators and the voice actors for inane things like shipping, and also just for like really like honestly kind of petty stuff. It makes the creators get angry, so they start making choices that purposefully thwart a lot of fan interpretations and like fan thoughts, feelings, ideas, etc. And then they turn around and they make one of the main characters gay. And they give him a love interest, but the love interest is already dead. So that's kind of useless. And then they also decide to kill off the guy that is gay. And it's like, we're so progressive because we have a gay character, but we killed off his love interest, didn't give him a new one, and then we killed him. Inclusion. And then they also made it, the thing about this guy that they made gay is that he had like a pretty major ship with one of the other characters in the main cast, and then they decided that they were going to make this guy suddenly much older than the rest of the cast, even though the original marketing for the show was that they were all teenagers. The original marketing for the show is that they were all teenagers, but then they decided to make this guy suddenly much older because they were tired of the gay shipping. They also thwarted the other main ship that existed between two of the other characters, which was arguably like their biggest claim to fame. They decided to make the two of them like very aggressively no longer canon by like forcing one of them to get together with the token girl in the group. And then the other guy just was like forced into a time paradox where he gets like his age also then becomes like questionable and weird compared to everybody else because he gets thrown into like a weird portal and there's like timey-wimey shenanigans because of space continuities of time and space. It's weird. It's weird. They like purposefully do these things to make it so that certain ships just can't be canon anymore by messing with character ages. And it's just like, and it's because there were so many people who would get so in the faces of the creators that were like, what age are these characters? You shouldn't be shipping these characters because they're these ages, right? Even though there were no canon ages ever stated at this particular point in time, besides the fact they were teenagers. God. Literally insane. These people were going cuckoo for stuff that didn't matter. And so because they were going cuckoo for stuff that didn't matter, it caused the creators to be really passive-aggressive towards them within the actual media. And then again, you have cases of like, this show realistically depicts intergalactic war and death. So if characters die despite being introduced to represent diversity, it doesn't matter because it focuses on the gritty realism of what war really means. And I'm just like, you can't tout your show as being woke if the characters that you've added to have this diversity are already dead. You don't get to see them be gay on screen. What's the point? Among everything else that you get fucking wrong in this series, because what the hell? It's honestly so bonkers to me. So no, the thing with the show is that the showrunners got kind of annoyed with their fan base, and so they were purposefully making a lot of narrative choices and directions that thwarted things that the fandom was like known for like caring a lot about, and like making it so that it basically would be nigh on impossible for certain things to occur, just purely out of spite. And then the whole like, there's just so many creative choices that were just so baffling and questionable to me. Also, they went out of their way to change the initial patterns. Leox, thank you for the follow on Twitch. They went out of their way to change the initial patterns from the original series, and then eventually had them switch back to the default, like, canon from the old Voltron IP by the time we get to, like, season 4 or 5. And so it's like, what's the point of the convention of changing everybody around and, like, going out of the way of, like, making sure these characters know that they are meant to be with these colors, and then suddenly they can't be those colors anymore, and they all get, like, forced out of, like, the roles that they were used to playing. Also, they don't change the color of their suits. So you have characters like the blue one being in the red lion, or like the freaking pink lady being in the blue lion, and you're just like, if you're gonna have them change roles, make them change colors. But they didn't even have them change colors. So it just makes it obvious that it just doesn't make sense. It's all like fit in weird. And like they make it so obvious that it's like uncomfortable and weird for the characters because they were like, so used to having their, like, other connections to the other lions. It just doesn't make sense. It's crazy. Just came into Yuno screaming something gay to be on screen. Yeah. No, I'm heated. I'm talking about Voltron. Now I've gone cross-eyed me. Me for real. So anyway, long story short, Voltron had a vice grip on me in the early seasons, and I really liked it. And then they just started making so many weird choices narratively, and I was just like, this shit sucks, bro. And so I stopped liking it, and then I never finished it, and I only found out through, like, Tumblr osmosis at the time, things that were happening in it. And I was just like, oh my god. They did what? To who? For why? And it was insane. It was very insane, and it drove me up the wall crazy. So that was definitely a situation where I wrote a lot of fix-it fic. And also a lot of, I'm ignoring the decisions that were made by the showrunners because that's very fucking dumb. I had Voltron toys growing up. Well, you're talking about the old series. I'm talking about Voltron Legendary Defender, the Netflix remake. If you like the old series, you should probably just stick with the old series. I think the new series isn't really worth it. I'm not gonna lie. But it kept getting renewed, and also, like, people were watching a lot of it because there was a lot of investment. And I think a lot of people eventually started reaching a point where they would watch the new seasons just to see what kind of a train wreck it had become. This is why you don't hate watch things, guys. We could have made that show end after, like, season 4 when they really fucked shit over. But instead, because people wanted to keep hate watching, it got 8. So it was Netflix slop? Yeah. I do think another part of the problem was that because it was a Netflix show, seasons were kind of getting forced out really fast. And I wonder if that caused a lot of, like, rushed decisions on top of the, like, general irritation that the showrunners probably felt towards the fan base. Hate watch is invested. That's what I mean. Don't hate watch it. That makes the investors just see number go up and they're just like, oh, people want more of this. So if you don't like something, you just don't watch it. That's what I did. I stopped watching when I didn't care anymore. Oh, Hanaki, welcome in. I got too heated just now. I think my sore throat's starting to come back. It's Jover. Owaru. The only thing I hate watching is the stream end screen. That's very sweet. Thank you. I can't imagine if Velma lasted that long. See, people learned. People learned that you shouldn't hate watch something. Although I do remember when Velma came out, a lot of people were screaming, like, don't watch it. We don't want people to think that we want more of this shit. Don't watch it. And I honestly wish someone did that to Voltron, but Voltron was so big at the time that, like, it probably would have been really hard to get people to actually stop watching it. Even if people knew it was bad, I think a lot of them still would have been like, but comfort show. To which I'm just like, find something else. It's not that hard to find something else. I watched Velma by watching people reacting to it instead. That's fine. There are going to be people that will try to watch a thing regardless. And I guess if you take the fall by watching someone else watch it, that means you're not giving it a view. But it's just like, if you don't like something, just don't watch it. Velma seems like a weird case of self-insert. Was it self-insert? I honestly don't know that much about it. I just remember the trailer coming out, everyone hating it, and then everybody saying don't watch it. I don't think I watched anybody react to it. No, wait. Yes, I did. Wait, yes, I did. But I don't remember anything about it. It was just that forgettable. Even watching people hate watch it just was not memorable at all to me. If that says anything. Don't watch something you don't like. Fine, I'll keep watching Yuno. If I don't watch things I hate, how I ever fit in with all the other angry young males online? That's the thing. So much of online culture is steeped in hatred now. It feels like if you don't hate something, then you're not like partaking in the internet, right? I guess. I don't know how else to word that. But hatred is such a key thing. Would have been decent IMO if it wasn't Scooby-Doo. Yeah, see, I think that's the other thing. So many series will, like, rely on existing IP and be like, familiar name means I will, get to rake in nostalgia viewers. But then if it, like, isn't even faithful to the original thing, it's just like, man. I like watching people trash a show that deserves the hate. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I see value in it. I've watched people hate watch stuff. But it's also just like, you have to be careful with how much of that happens because it leads to things like shows like that getting more seasons. And then you run the risk of it getting even worse somehow. I think 1 season of a shitty show is fine, maybe even 2 seasons, but I feel like shows that are like absolutely hot garbage that people have known would be hot garbage from the get-go shouldn't continue to get made. I don't think that hate watching deserves to make those kinds of shows keep going and keep raking in money. Because it's just like, man, why do you have to keep ruining good things? That's how I feel anyway. Okay, rant over. Also, I have to make sure that I don't die. As an offset, we should also watch videos of people praising stuff they enjoy. True. I also agree with this. I realized when I was younger, I was watching way too much cinema sins. And I realized that it was really poisoning my view of media. And I was only like watching stuff to try and like rack up sins. But also half the sins that cinema sins was pointing out were like not even really sins. They were just like things that happen in movies. Cliches are not sins. I learned a lot of that. I unlearned a lot of that, like, thought process, and I started watching more stuff by people that, like, actually enjoy media, and then ended up being a lot better for me and my brain in the long run. I grew up with CinemaSins. I watched a lot of CinemaSins in high school. But then, I think it was particularly going to school for creative writing that made me realize that CinemaSins was just hating on movies in general, not so much like anything else. There's actually a channel called Cinema Wins that says good things about movies, even bad ones. Yeah, I think that was made specifically to counter how negative CinemaSins always was about even good movies. Developing angry brain cells. Angry, hateful brain cells. And I just didn't really want that energy, because I realized a lot of the stuff that CinemaSins was calling a sin was just, like, things that happen in movies, or just, like, things that don't even really matter. And I would watch the CinemaSins on movies that I did like, and it would make me think that I shouldn't like them anymore, because he was able to rack up so many sins about them. When, like, no, the things that I like are still good. I had Angry Video Game Nerd on my end. That's fair. I never really watched a lot of his stuff, but, like, I think a lot of his criticisms were still, like, steeped in, like, understanding of nuance. Although, from what I understand, he did, like, move forward from being Angry Video Game Nerd and is now a lot more, like, constructive when offering, like, reviews and, like, feedback on stuff, which I think is cool. We love character growth. Love to see it. Love to see it. But yeah, no, in my opinion, I think if you hate watch, you are just kind of fueling the thing you hate to keep happening. If you really want something to stop, don't watch it. Don't give it attention. How are you with historical inaccuracies in movies? I'm the type that grumbles the whole movie under my breath about it, but will still finish the movie. I'm not enough of a history buff to care. If somebody points out a historical inaccuracy to me, I'll be like, oh, that kind of sucks. Or like, oh, that's a weird choice to make then. But I usually ignore it in favor of just following the narrative. Or I'm too ignorant about the historical period to really notice the difference. Video game nerd is always an over-exaggerated character, as himself is always a more level-headed reviewer. Yeah. Makes sense to me. IMO hate watching is a pretty pitiful existence. I agree. I think you're just better off not. Put that energy into something you actually like. Hate watching only fuels the things that you hate, so why dedicate your energy to that if you really don't want it to be around? But that's just me. That's just my onion. What do you mean, Abraham Lincoln? Wow, one brain cell. I love how 2 people thought of Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, of all things. Put that energy into hating, buying Blu-ray collections and hate upvoting on Rotten Tomatoes. Man, Blu-rays. I honestly can't hate people who get Blu-ray collections anymore, just because at least it's still technically a physical medium. I am so tired of how much physical media has been disappearing. I miss DVDs, man. But Abe Lincoln really did fight vampires? Of course he did, sweetheart. I also consider budget and ease of fixing historical inaccuracies. I dislike when the inaccuracies are in CG. Would it really have killed you to make it look right? Well, the thing is, they're probably not going to do that level of research because it doesn't matter for the overall narrative. You have to think about narrative direction. If it's something that doesn't really matter, then they're not going to bother. Like, if it's something that's super minor and they think that the average moviegoer isn't really going to notice the inaccuracy, then why would they care? I also think that you overestimate how much research people put into making historical movies. Like, unless it's intended to be a documentary, they're not going to put in that much actual research. They're going to get the gist, and then they're gonna make whatever liberties they think are necessary, either to make women look hot, or to make action cool. Or to add in whatever fantasy creatures they want to fuck up with the timeline, too. Unacceptable? Then go watch a documentary. My roommate was just telling me about a DVD he bought for $3 years ago that's now going for over $200. That's the thing. The scarcity of physical media is also making all the prices skyrocket. And it's crazy. Crazy and sucks. Next, you're going to say King Arthur wasn't a cute girl? I have to hold your hand when I say this. But yeah, he wasn't a cute girl. FGO just turns everything anime. They aren't actually like that. I'm sorry you had to find out this way. Hello, Hanaki, welcome in. King Arthur can be a cute girl if he wants to. Yeah, but not in the way you're thinking. What do you mean all these historic people weren't hot anime women? They weren't. Fell to my knees at Walmart. Crazy. Next, you're gonna tell me Santa Claus wasn't real? No, Santa Claus is real. At the very least, there's a lot of research that's been put in that confirms that the idea of Saint Nicholas is like a real guy. Was based off of a real guy. Thrift stores are a paradise for DVD shopping. For how much longer, though? I feel like as the desire for physical media starts going up, the prices might start going up for them, too. So for how much longer, though? Was also a good necromancer according to the myths. Heck yeah. I bought Ghost Stories on Blu-ray this week to preserve it. Let's freaking go. I mean, most of Ghost Stories is on YouTube, I believe. But it is true that YouTube is not permanent. So you're probably smart for that. You in the old folks' home watching Ghost Stories being like, ha ha ha! I remember the days. I enjoy and remember the days. Documentaries, watched one where the narrator mispronounced half the subjects of the documentary. Well, that's the fault of the people that were making the script. If you have a lot of words that are difficult to pronounce, it is your responsibility to give pronunciation guides. Especially for things where, like, the words are not just, like, easy to mispronounce, but, like, if there's, like, quote-unquote made-up words, or just, like, words that aren't really commonly used anymore, it is on you to present a guide to whoever is doing the narration. So that's on the other people that made the movie, not the narrator. Kept pollution in my Amazon cart for so long it got prohibitively expensive. That's gonna be happening with a lot of Japanese media now. It's officially Jover. Professors at graduation told us to use our first paycheck on fun things. The student loans will be for paycheck too, so I bought about 2K of Walmart anime catalog. Hell yeah. That's pretty sick. As someone with a weird nickname, it's fun to see people trying to read made-up names. It can be difficult, especially with online usernames. Because they get all, like, smudged together in, like, one word, and you have to, like, really try to piece it apart. Walmart has anime? Sometimes. A lot of, like, mainstream stores used to have, like, dedicated anime sections. I think I've told this story before, but I remember going to, Best Buy a lot as a kid, and I would immediately just, like, go to the anime section and camp out there while my mom would do the other shopping. And I would just camp out looking at all the anime options. Made up names are the best because you can pronounce them any way you want. No one can correct you. Well, I think if they're the one that made up the name, then they should be allowed to correct you. But I understand what you mean, like, in theory. I do get what you're saying in theory. May the Oni lights guide you back to me. Miguel Lopez, thank you for being a member for 21 months of the Oni Lights. Watch Yuno mispronounce my name.
Do you want me to mispronounce it? I'll do it if you want me to. But I think that's inappropriate, especially with names that are from, like, other languages. I think that's inappropriate to do with names. And you never truly know if it could actually be somebody's name, so it's better to do your best to pronounce it if you can. Because it's a name, it's important. Mispronounce my name? Okay. Hot Wave. Do it, you know, cross the last line of decency? No. You have my full permission? No. Close enough. This is like the substitute teacher? Yes, I was thinking about that skit. Ron. But yeah, no, I try to be careful with names. Because truly, you never know. Aaron, Balaki. Yeah. Watch her mispronounce my name. Honestly, you've never corrected me when I've tried to pronounce it, so... I don't know what the actual way to pronounce it is. I have said TCLE, and I've also said TC Lee, I believe. I don't know which one is correct. If you try to say that it's fucking Tickle or whatever, I'll be shocked, but I will learn to say it. I meant the phrase my name. Well, no, that's a phrase. I can't mispronounce that. Once surprised a girl in school by pronouncing her name correctly, but that's the thing. It makes people so happy when you can manage to pronounce their name right. Techly. My friends say Tickle to annoy me. It's the 4 letters. Yeah. TCLE. Okay, got it. Another Spanish-speaking VTuber calls me Kai Hi because that's how our Spanish TTS reads my name. That's kind of cute, though. That's a nickname. That's a nickname. The most embarrassing name I mispronounced was... Oh, boy. Is it... I don't know how to pronounce Chinese names. I don't even want to try. When I see the way you mispronounced it, my instinct would have been very wrong. Cool. I don't know how to say it. My last job that I quit for college starts tomorrow. A lot of people really like me because I memorized 3/4 of the 60 names, including most of the foreign ones. Yeah, that's the thing, though. People are, like, so used to their names being mispronounced that, like, when you go out of your way to, like, learn how to pronounce it and you, like, make it, you, like, make an effort to, like, pronounce their actual name. Especially if you're, like, making sure that they don't feel forced to use, like, a more Americanized name. It makes people happy. Cao. Oh, okay. Understood. Yeah, no. I also would have guessed Cow. It was either going to be Cow or Chow, and it would have been over for me. Cao then. Understood. I'll keep that in mind. Not just happy, it makes them feel recognized as an individual. Well, yeah, that too. But I'm just saying, like, in general, I don't want to, like, make too many assumptions about how people feel.
Kaya unironically had been mispronouncing my name for over a year now. Hadn't had the heart to correct her. No! How is she mispronouncing it? Then again, she also tried to play Pokemon in Spanish and was like really struggling from what I remember. So I guess I shouldn't be that surprised. Sounds so Italian, cousin Chow Chow. Leave me alone! Michael Lopez. No! Stop! I'd die. I could not. But no, see, since a lot of you guys have names that sound like they could be your actual names, I try really hard to pronounce them right. It's gotta be intentional. I don't know. She says it the way it's spelled, Miguel. Oh no. Not the Miguel. I can't breathe. No. Hiya. My stomach hurts. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't be laughing. Man. Which is why it's always funny to me. I mean, as long as you could be a good sport about it, I guess it's fine. I personally would die of cringe if I ever mispronounced it that badly. What a time for her not to be lurking. Thank God. I think she'd be very embarrassed. As part of my studies, I had to read a lot of indigenous North American names. I don't suppose you know how to pronounce. Oh, no. Alright, hold on. Let me think. Vocogenoa? Or Vocogenoa? Is my guess. It's okay if I'm wrong. That's pretty close, actually. Let's go! Watch it be way off. No! I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I was. But I guess because there's a name in Date Everything of a character that's like very funky to pronounce, and I remembered that the way some of the letters he used in that name are written in the name in Date Everything are pronounced a specific way. So I was like, wait, I have to lock in. I have to remember. The character's name is Rongo Mafenwa, I believe. So I used that knowledge and was like looking at the name like, humming like a microwave. It's a Cheyenne name, translates literally to hooked nose, famous warrior chief. Ah, I see. How do people mispronounce your name, Hanaki? I mean, besides the fact that a lot of people will just call me Yuna. Let's see. Probably Hanaki or, Hanaki. if you have like a really like thick accent there. Hanaki. I think Yuno is pretty easy to pronounce, luckily. So I don't think there are gonna be people that can't pronounce Yuno. It's more so they'll just call me Yuna instead. Probably because that feels like a more effeminate name versus the O. For whatever reason. But I think we'd probably get like Hanaki. You know, like one? Yuno? Like there's an apostrophe? I don't think that one's very likely, though. It sounds too easily like the English you know, so it's very easy to pronounce. Hanaki is the thing that would probably get mispronounced all the time, though. Uno Hanaki? The Y is not silent! You can't make that mistake! Saying it like Y10, but that doesn't even make sense. Yono doesn't make sense. Yono? It doesn't work at all. Uno house key. That doesn't work at all either. Hanky time. Not hanky. It's pronounced Judo. Yun zero. Keys? No. No keys. You can't have keys anymore, remember? YouTube has to understand that I'm talking in a room full of adults. It's like Y'shtola from Final Fantasy XIV. Uno? Uno Hanaki. Ew, no. Or the classic Yuno Haniki. Said literally nobody ever. Yuno Aniki? I guess so, if you wanted to make the H silent. This is more so based on accents than like intentional, well, not intentional, but like unintentional mispronunciation. Yuno Aniki. My goodness. Actually, Y'shtola is pronounced... Oh, Y'shtola. Okay, so... Yano. Juno has no key. True. The British accent to sound like you know. You know... I can't do an accent right now. You know... Hanaki. Long ah sounds. My phone tried to autocorrect your last name to Hanako. Probably because you say Hanako more often than you say Hanaki. Hanaki isn't exactly a very common surname. Especially not the way it's written in JP. Whenever I write out my name in kanji, and then if I'm Google translating messages where like especially if I'm like translating messages between me and my mama, it always reads it as Haoni. Like Haoni. Haoni. And it usually can't read Yuno. It says something else. But I become Haoni. That is not what my mama calls me. My mama calls me Hanaki-san. Streambound Hanaki, literally me. Haoni? Yeah, Haoni. I don't know why it translates like that. Haoni. But, you know, reading kanji is difficult because kanji can have multiple readings depending on what kanji they are next to. Onyomi and kunyomi and all that jazz. So I guess that's why. But it usually gets translated to like Haoni for some reason. And I'm always just like, huh. Interesting. Very interesting. Hold on, let me see if I can find the actual example. Checking my correspondences with my mama. Where are our last messages, mama? There they are. Let me see if it does it this time, because like sometimes it changes. Okay, so today the translation is Hana Oni Yumi. That's me. Which is fair, based on the kanji that I use. Today it is Hana Oni Yumi. Tomorrow, the world. But it has literally shown it as like Haoni before. Like it just skips the na. For reasons I have yet to understand. But today it's translating to Hana Oni Yumi. Flower demon bow. Well, I think it's Yumi because of the fact that it's like U for bond and connection, and then mi comes from like nozomu or nozomi, which is like wish or desire. So it's like flower demon bond wish. But could be read as Yumi. I guess that could have also been an option when it came to coming up with names. Floger. Floger! Awful. Hate this place. Sounds really cool. It makes me sound very chuny. Hana Oni Yumi. Yeah, they have so many readings. It's rough out here. So the fact that it translates into something funky every time it tries to reinterpret is very common. It does its best to guess. That's why names can be quite difficult to learn how to read, even if you are, like, fluent in JP. The minute you're presented with a new kanji compound, you're just like, oh god. How do I read this? Management worked with us to pick out our kanji. Well, worked with me to pick out kanji. I believe Kaya and Ranchan both had an understanding of kanji because they both can also speak Chinese. So they kind of understood a lot of kanji meanings already. Meanwhile, I was like, I understand some of these. I do understand what Oni is. And that you can read it as ki. Everything else, I will learn. I will ganba. Flower Demon Bond sounds like the Demon Slayer MacGuffin the big bad was looking for. The power of Flower Demon friendship. And I thought Japanese number wordplay was complex. Ah, yeah. What's even worse about names is A, there's a whole set of kanji that are only used in names and never in actual words, and B, when parents name their children, they're free to assign any. Yeah, it gets really crazy. Any pronunciation to the kanji they want. Yup. Kira names are also a big thing. You choose, like, really crazy kanji, and then you have it read with, like, an even crazier reading, and you're just like, what the frick? What's weird is that the kanji for Oni also means ghost. Yeah, it's used for, like, a lot of, like, creature type, like, creature monster type things. So it's like ghost, demon, beast, yokai. Yeah. It is also yokai. But management insisted that I use the kanji for Oni somewhere in my name. So they really wanted me to use it. I've talked about this before, though. It's spelled Ashley, pronounced Bob. Thanks, Mom and Dad. So true. Refers to anything that they thought wants to kill them back in the day. Yup. But at least in my particular case, it is intended to actually refer to, like, being an Oni. An Oni itself. Mostly because the kanji is also, like, the standalone one. Oh my goodness. It's getting a little late. I should probably consider wrapping up soon. The curse of my own actions. I should have proofread my schedule harder before I posted it. Because now I'm stuck with a morning stream. On the bright side, I guess this means that I'll be doing puzzles for, like, a while. Assuming there's a lot of puzzles. I actually don't know. This game was a recommendation from, Hitomi. So I don't actually know that much about it, besides the fact that she really likes it. She tried it the other day and she was like, I think this would be a fun thing for you to stream. And so I was like, okay. Gotta wake up early. Oh no, oh no. No, see, it works out, because if I start earlier, that means I get to stream for longer. Push for longer time. Stay live. Gotta wake up for class at 8 AM. Good luck with class. Surprised it's only been a bit less than 4 hours. My endurance strength has grown ever since the 48 hours. Honestly, time legitimately does fly by a lot more now when I'm streaming. I think after streaming for 48, my body's just like, yup, this ain't nothing. Hope the sickness isn't so bad. I've been feeling better. I've been, like, having periods of, like, getting really warm during stream. And also, after I had my very impassioned Voltron rant, I made my throat hurt a little bit. So hopefully I don't wake up with a sorer throat. Please no sorer. But when I play puzzles in the morning, I will hopefully be okay. We'll just chill. Get to sleep in tomorrow. It's my day off work. Yippee! Enjoy sleeping in. I hope you get lots of rest. Honestly, I'd be awake at 8 AM even if I streamed late. I tend to wake up with the sun. Because the sun, my window is east facing, so whenever the sun rises, the sun gets directly into my eyeballs, and I'm just like, ow. And I get forced awake. So I'd be awake regardless. But yeah. I'm going to go ahead and call it here so that I can try to get some rest. It'd be nice to try and get a full night of sleep in order to fight off this ick. Phone's at 4% battery. It's okay. I'm ending basically right now anyway. The sun is a deadly laser. So true. That's like my favorite part of that video. No, the sun is a deadly laser. Not anymore, there's a blanket. Like, of how long that video is, I know it's crazy to say that part is my favorite when it's so early, but it's so good. Sometimes I wake up that early on accident, but I often find you streaming at those hours ungodly early. Haha, I'm sorry. A video falls off after complex life evolves. True. I do think a lot of the most banger options are from the earlier, like, stages of the world. I would agree with this assessment. Hold on, I have to refresh to make sure I have all of my updated options for rating. It's Australia, sorry guys. Let's see, who is streaming? Yeah, the person I had wanted to raid, I don't think is live anymore. Wait. Wait, pause. Wait, pause. Okay, sick, never mind. Sick, never mind. Hmm? Oh, maybe they just ended, and that's why it won't let me save it. No! Do I have to refresh again? It's over. I'm suffering. Why is it so hard to pick somebody to raid? Okay, do that, and then we go back here, and then we do this. Self-raid your own puzzle stream like a total misanthrope. No, I don't think many of you are going to be awake for it. But it'll be good for the people that are usually in opposite time zones that are like, where it's evening for them. So I'll be able to target another part of my viewer base, however small it might be, because I know most of my viewer base is US. Vaporeon Waterfox. I got confused because it wasn't Vaporeon. Vaporeon Waterfox. Thank you for the follow over on Twitch. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, no, I had a specific person in mind to raid, and I think they're still going, so we're gonna just go for it. And I'm gonna pray that I didn't miss. But yeah, anyways. So I will be streaming first thing in the morning EST. And like really, really early if you live anywhere else. I'm sorry. Don't force yourselves to come to the stream. I don't want to hear any complaining about what time it is for you in that waiting room, okay? I will be deleting those comments. It's not... you can sleep. It's okay. I'm not gonna hold it against you. I will literally delete any messages that where if you complain about the time. I ain't dealing with all that. But we'll be doing some comfy jigsawing. Hopefully I can keep you guys company while you're working if you decide to watch. And then in the evening... in the evening... we're gonna do the YouTube band speedrun. That is the, hypnosis stream. Please, I'm gonna have, like, special rules for that stream in particular that'll be pinned in both the YouTube and the Twitch chat, so make sure you read those accordingly. Please. I need you guys to be responsible with your consumption of the media. That is not going to be a stream that you can have on as second monitor content, okay? You have to either be fully focused or not watching at all. There will be specific rules on it, later that I will write. Probably after I'm done puzzling. So yeah. In order for it to be enjoyable, you gotta follow my rules for those streams. Though it'll be listed once I'm actually like streaming and stuff. Okay? Okay. Sorry what I missed that. Don't worry. It'll be written out in both of the chats when the stream is closer to happening. But it's for the hypnosis stream, so you don't have to worry about it just yet. Anyways. That about does it for me. Thank you guys so much for choosing to spend time with me. I hope that you have a good rest of your time zone, and until I see you again, Yunotsu!